for the second night in a row, see the bullpen not be able to handle their business late and waste what was a fantastic outing from Martin Perez once again for this Rangers team.
And, I mean, the bullpen blew it in different ways, in back-to-back days. Last night it was more the walks, 2 bases-loaded walks to force across the tying run for Cincinnati. Tonight, there was a bunch of singles in a row. There wasn't a lot of hard-hit balls in that 8th inning, just balls finding holes. But you heard Jared say after the game on the post-game show, the bullpen does not miss a lot of bats, and the value of the strikeout is probably a little elevated right now in baseball, although I think that mindset's starting to change a little bit. But late in games, if you have a guy who can miss a bat, I mean, when the ball's in play, weird stuff can happen, and that's kind of what happened tonight.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's frustrating because last night it was Jose Leclerc who, has had his struggles out of the pen. Tonight, you can point to a few people, but Cole Reagans comes to mind as well in a somewhat a role that I at least was not expecting him to fit into, which is 8th inning pitcher, like a dude that we have seen as in his time with the minors as a starter. And he is that, and he's gone to the bullpen, to be at the big league club and to give you some opportunity to eat innings in the front of the bullpen, and they're moving him and playing him in the back of the bullpen. And I think that isn't indicative of what Bruce Bochy is dealing with right now, which is a bullpen that we knew was not wildly strong, and him just trying to find some answers. Obviously, you had guys in your bullpen have to work over the last few days, and so you can see that they are really just scratching and trying to figure out different configurations, but it really is frustrating. I don't know what to say beyond that. To have this happen on back-to-back nights, as you mentioned, Chris, different ways, and squandering what felt like really great outings on the mound from your starters and from your lineup. Getting runs. 6 runs should win games in Major League Baseball, and the last 2 nights it hasn't.
No, and as for Reagan's role, I mean, he and Dane Dunning are on this roster to kind of provide innings out of the bullpen, right? Mm-hmm. With the way that starters are used now, you need a couple of guys that can go multiple innings. And as pitchers that came up as starters in the minor leagues, they can offer that. And Dunning has been unbelievable so far this year. But Bochy wanted to stay away from him tonight because he threw 50-plus pitches yesterday. Will Smith had thrown in back-to-back games. It was unlikely we were going to see him. Jose Leclerc probably needed a night off mentally after yesterday. So these were some of the options that Bochy had at his disposal tonight. And Reagan's hadn't pitched in 10 days. And, that's tough, especially if you're a starter until this season in the minor leagues. Figuring out how to adjust your routine. You're used to being on a 5th-day schedule. So, not having that consistency is certainly something I'm sure he'll learn from and work on as the season goes on.
Can I throw in a positive here that I recall thinking of during the game and while things were going swimming? Yeah, on a night where we had that happen.
Need some power of positivity after tonight.
Yeah. I was very fascinated because this was a relatively close game even into the 4th inning. In the 3rd time that this lineup came around on that red starter, they started putting all these things together. They started building innings and things of that nature. And I think that is really indicative of a lineup that I think has runs in them inherently. At least I'm starting to settle in on the idea that this is not an aberration. This is not an anomaly. This offense is something to be contended with in these major leagues. And of course, we're not going to point to the Reds as if they are a great baseball team, but once you get out of this series with the Reds and are able to not think about it as much, you're going to have some tests coming up. And I feel a lot better about the way that this Rangers lineup stacks up against any team in the majors when they, get an opportunity to see good pitching.
Yeah, the thing that you can take with you is that the offense, again, continues to perform. Marcus Semien, another home run tonight. Obviously, Josh H. Smith had a home run himself. Nathaniel Lowe got things started with his home run, as well. So this offense continues to perform, but as the season goes on, this cannot be a theme and a trend for them, given what you're trying to do in the AL West, obviously competing with the Astros at the top of that division, but more importantly, trying to learn how to win ball games. These are the kinds of games that you look back throughout the course of what is a long 162-game season and say, you cannot give away games, especially back-to-back nights against an opponent that you should beat. It's funny because Cincinnati has all of 9 wins this season. 8 of them have come at home so far through their first 24 ball games this year. Unfortunately, the Rangers give away what was a gimme tonight after getting out to a big lead against Cincinnati.
And one of the positives, to go back to the lineup real quick, I like is that there's been a lot of guys that have kind of surprised early this season. After maybe the top 5, maybe 6 bats, you were kind of like, okay, what's the bottom third of the order going to look like? But Bruce Bochy's done a nice job mixing and matching in that 2-hole where Corey Seager's been. Travis Jankowski was told he wasn't going to make the team a couple of days before the season started. Leody Taveras has to start on the IL, and all of a sudden, here he is hitting over 300, had 3 hits tonight. You mentioned the home run from Josh Smith. Ezekiel Duran has done good work for them. Leody Taveras has been pretty good. Robbie Grossman was in a little bit of a slump, but he homered yesterday, had the night off tonight. So they're doing a good job getting production from guys that you wouldn't have otherwise expected. Is that going to last for 6 months? Hard to say, but right now it's helping them early on, and they're still out to that 14-9 start, which is still good for an early first place in the American League West.
The Texas Rangers will get back on the field tomorrow and very early start time at 11:35 a.m. to finish off this 3-game series. Let's pause 10 seconds real quick for station identification before we finish up here on Rangers Extra Innings here on this Tuesday night.
Your turn it on, leave it on. Home of America's team is 105.3 The Fan.
Hello, baby.
KRLD FM and HD1, Dallas Fort Worth.
Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Again, Rangers fall 7-6 tonight on the road to the Cincinnati Reds. John Gray will be on the mound tomorrow. Again, start time at 11:35 a.m. The Texas Rangers at 14-9 will look to get a game in this series before they come home to take on the New York Yankees.
So, Chris, obviously you understand where Rangers fans are, especially with all the excitement that has been generated from this team that seems like it hasn't been there for a few years. There's a lot of folks who immediately after these last 2 games are like, gotta fix the bullpen ASAP. You're not going to go anywhere without this bullpen. You were speaking with Jared Sandler in the postgame show, and Jared tried to, add a little bit of caution here. Like, guys, this is going to happen over the course of a very long baseball season. Where do you fall on the, proverbial panic meter for this bullpen right now?
I'm not panicked about the bullpen right now. Do I think it could be improved if they're in contention later into the summer? Absolutely. It's a part of the team that wasn't really addressed a ton financially in the offseason. We all know how much money they poured into the starting rotation with DeGrom and Eovaldi and Heaney and bringing all those guys in. The lineup was primarily addressed a year ago, though they made some additions there as well. But the bullpen was one of the places where they kind of waited till later in the winter, picked up some guys who were still left, like Will Smith and Ian Kennedy. And the bullpen's been, until the last 2 nights, the bullpen has been outstanding. It's had the second best reliever ERA in baseball, I believe, coming into last night's game. So I'm willing to give him a little bit of time to work it out, see if Leclerc can get these control problems down, maybe find a little more velocity because his velocity is a couple of ticks down right now. And then, when you have arrested Dane Dunning and Will Smith, and Jonathan Hernandez has been really good. So you have a few guys you can work with, and I think that's a place where if you're still in this position come mid-July, you start to explore options to upgrade that bullpen.
Also, how much less do you have to worry about the bullpen when you have stretched out your starters a little bit longer? You allow them to get 7-8 innings into games at times, because it does seem like you have a rotation that's capable of that a few times out of every turn around the rotation.
That's a huge difference from this team. If these 5 guys stay healthy, which is probably not going to happen if we're just being honest about what the odds are in baseball, starters are going to miss starts. It happens. You just hope it's nothing long-term. But if these can be your guys that are making 75, 80% of your starts over the course of the year, then I think you're going to be in good shape. One of the things about Jacob DeGrom is he's kind of a higher pitch count guy because he gets so many strikeouts. So on days when he pitches, maybe that's when you want a Dane Dunning ready to go. But Martin Perez is extremely efficient. He gets a lot of balls in play early in counts and gets through these innings quick. We saw a few of those tonight where he wasn't throwing more than 11, 12 pitches in a couple innings.
Rangers fall tonight 7-6 to the Cincinnati Reds at the Great American Ballpark. Again, game time tomorrow at 11:35 a.m. on the Louisiana Hot Sauce Rangers radio network. Chris, appreciate the time on this Tuesday evening. You have a good rest of your night, sir.
Thanks for letting me hang out, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. John Gray takes the mound against Graham Ashcraft tomorrow. John Gray 1-1 with a 3.72 ERA. Ashcraft with a 2-0 record, 1.88 ERA with 21 strikeouts on the season for the Cincinnati Reds. Coming up on the other side of this quick break, it's the Get Right with Reggie KG on 105.3 The Fan. Besides the Cowboys, who are the most interesting teams in this year's NFL draft, plus the Stars in action at the American Airlines Center. We get into all of that next on 105.3 The Fan.
What's up, Tolos? This is Bobby Belt for State of the Art Weight Loss, and I'm here to tell you about the wonderful team of expert nutritionists at SOTA. That's SOTA. Can't wait to tell you guys about the new milestone I reached recently. I'm now down over 40 pounds and getting that much closer to my goal weight. In fact, had to go out shopping this last week and get myself a brand new belt because the other one just didn't fit anymore. SOTA has 7 beautiful in-office facilities around DFW. I go to the Hillcrest location in Dallas, and the SOTA team has been so helpful in helping me understand how to tackle the weight problem that I've had for most of my adult life. They aren't just giving you talking points, they're genuinely invested in you as a person and helping you understand healthier eating habits. Visit SOTA's website just like I did at sotaweightloss.com to read the over 7,000 client Google business reviews. SOTA is the only weight loss company in America that has been the vetted and chosen weight loss program for a major sporting franchise organization and its fans. So get into summer, lose that weight, join me, Bobby Belt, as I'm now fitting into a smaller belt. Visit sotaweightloss.com. SOTA Weight Loss is, say it with me now, state of the art.
From our fan studio secured by DFWsecurity.com, it's time for the Get Right on 105.3 The Fan.
It is indeed time for the Get Right with Reggie KG on 105.3 The Fan. Kevin Gray, Reginald Atatula.
That's right.
Ruben Portillo holding it down for you here. We are with you until midnight tonight here on your home of the Cowboys and Texas Rangers. 105.3 The Fan. Appreciate you joining us on Odyssey and the Odyssey app, the truckwreck.com text line. 877-881-1053, 877-881-1053. If you want to get in on the conversation, as unfortunately the good guys go down on the road for the second straight night to the Cincinnati Reds because the bullpen could not handle business late, wasting what was a fantastic outing from Martin Perez going 6 1/3 and doing what he does in an efficient manner. Unfortunately, though, his bullpen lets him down. Rangers look to salvage a game in this series tomorrow morning. Yes, tomorrow morning, KNC, at 11:35 a.m. right here on the Louisiana Hot Sauce Rangers Radio Network before they get the day off on Thursday. And then they welcome in the Bronx Bombers to Globe Life Field for their next series against Aaron Judge and the Yankees. But
you know what time it is tomorrow.
What time it is tomorrow?
NFL draft time, baby.
That's officially on Thursday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Damn it. Day ahead.
Get with the program, man.
I don't know what day it is. It's been a wild one for me today.
We'll get to them in just a second because we got to make sure we touch on what's happening at the American Airlines Center.
It's really only Tuesday.
It really is only Tuesday.
What?
Yeah, you got to catch up, man. Okay. Because 8 seconds in tonight at the American Airlines Center, Tyler Sagan said, hey, y'all pay attention. It's going to be a wild one tonight at the AAC. Take a listen.
Or don't, you know.
For the Minnesota Wild, what an opportunity. Puck comes in front, they score! Just 8 seconds into the major power play. Tyler Sagan with his 4th power play goal in this series. They say the red hot power play.
Kenny Albert on the call for the NHL on TNT game being broadcasted on TBS. Tyler Sagan's 4th power play goal gave the Stars a 1-0 lead. They have tacked on 2 more with 17:48 left in the third period. Stars up 3-0 at the AAC. Guess what, Reg?
What's that?
Stars on the power play right now.
Goal coming soon. That's how that works.
As they have just been completely devastating on the power play, not just in these playoffs so far, but all season long for the Stars. Jason Robertson, Mason Marchment, the other 2 goals for the Stars tonight. Again, Stars with the series tied at 2 games apiece, up 3-0 in the third period, currently on the power play against the Minnesota Wild. The hockey hawk himself, Gavin Spittle, will be joining us live in studio at around 10 o'clock tonight. So
I think.
Yes.
At the conclusion of this game.
At the conclusion of this game.
Fantastic.
He will be joining us to talk all things Stars, who, at least right now for the moment, are handling their business. But the NFL's annual selection meeting takes place on Thursday night in Kansas City, Missouri, my hometown, of course.
That's tomorrow, right?
No.
Okay.
That will be on Thursday. Tomorrow's Wednesday.
Eventually, it's going to be true.
That's
Eventually.
right. On Thursday, you can hang out with Reg and I, though, at Pluckers in Allen, 190 East Stacy Road. We will be there hanging out with you all night long as we cover the NFL draft.
And I mean, you don't got to hang out with us. I mean, if you're listening, if you like somebody else on the station more, understand we are at all of the DFW Pluckers locations for this draft night party. So if you just don't, if the drive is a little far for you, head out to a Pluckers near you. You will hang out with somebody from the fan on the first night of the NFL draft.
And yes, I need to correct myself. I said 8 seconds to the game. That was 8 seconds into it. Was a 5-minute major.
It was like 2 minutes into the game.
That's right.
That's effectively the same
right.
thing.
But we want to be accurate for the people out there because we don't want nasty texts like we got from the 817 there. Thank you for the accountability, though. But at the same time, the Cowboys hold the number 26 overall pick in this year's NFL draft. But there are other teams, Reg, who are of interest and of note getting ready for this draft on Thursday night.
Yeah, man, get in on the truckwreck.com text line, 877-881-1053. Who is the most interesting team to you in the first round of this NFL draft outside of the Cowboys? I understand how this goes. Don't do that.
Hey,
but
that's my line.
It is. However, let us go to Nora Princiati of The Ringer and who she views as some of the most interesting teams in this first round. Now, you will not be surprised to hear in a 4-quarterback draft that the first 3 teams are in the top 4. It is the Houston Texans, the Arizona Cardinals, and the Indianapolis Colts. You have any questions as to why? You have any idea as to why these teams become interesting in this first round of this NFL draft?
Well, Houston in particular, because there's a lot of scuttlebutt that they may not even take a quarterback at number 2, which I find to be preposterous, given the fact that you've got Bryce Young, who's the presumptive number 1, going to Carolina, and then C.J. Stroud, who's arguably the second best quarterback in this draft. And Houston, are you really trying to convince me that Davis Mills is that dude? And you're going to go with him?
I don't even know if it's a Davis
forward?
Mills is that dude, right? I think that we have gotten into the place where on the outside we go, okay, this team needs a quarterback, this team needs a quarterback, this team needs a quarterback. And so when they come up to it, because of the nature of the quarterback position and its value, whichever one's there, you're going to take. And I guess the scuttlebutt is leaning to the idea that the Texans like one dude, Bryce Young, it seems. And if Bryce Young ain't there, they might not have an affinity for any of these other quarterbacks if these reports and the scuttlebutt is correct. And they're like, well, you then might as well go get a really, really good defensive player because there are those out there. Now, that would then point to 2 things. One, I mean, why not trade back, which is a possibility. And 2, that's why you don't lose that last game, Bubba. Like, that's why you hold on to that number 1 pick so you can you get exactly the person that you want.
I don't even blame the Houston organization for that. You know who I blame for that?
Lovey
Smith, because he wanted his pound of flesh as he got out of there after what he felt like was done wrong by the organization to him.
Hey, man, the player's going to play, man.
That does bring into play a guy like Tyree Wilson, though, who may be going number 2 overall.
Which is incredible because how long? We've been talking about this for at least a calendar year about how Will Anderson was the best player in the nation. And now Will Anderson not going to even be the first defensive player taken in his own draft? Is that how this goes?
It's possible.
Okay, fantastic.
It's very possible. Or you could see with the other team that's on this, and you just mentioned it, with Will Anderson, the Arizona Cardinals sitting there at 3.
And the Cardinals, we never thought that they were going to do anything besides take one of these best defensive players out here because they really need help on defense and they got a quarterback. So that one, I don't know how interesting the Cardinals are to me. I guess the interest here is, are they going to trade back and allow one of these teams in to go and get the quarterback? And then the Colts, which one of these guys is left for you? Ends up being the question. And I am intrigued to see if they go for if C.J. Stroud is still there, how much they actually like Will Levis, because I know Will Levis has been mocked to them at times.
Yeah.
Or if they're willing to take the guy who I personally have said will get somebody fired, Anthony Richardson.
Well, the Colts
I say that with some affinity, mind you.
I mean, the Colts could be sitting pretty, though, because let's say that Houston decides to go ahead and take a defensive player there at 2, and then Arizona backs it up again and takes Will Anderson at 3. You may not have to move at all if you're the Indianapolis Colts, and you could have your pick of C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, or Anthony Richardson if you want it. And if I'm the Indianapolis Colts and C.J. Stroud is staring me in the face at 4, I mean, I might need to pull the trigger if I'm Jim Irsay in that organization, probably getting the best of the 3 left at that position.
All right, let's go to the truckwreck.com text line. We're again 877-881-1053. Let us know who you view as the most interesting team in the first round of this 2023 NFL draft. From the 972, they say the Detroit Lions. They're on the come up, and they have the Rams first round pick and their own. I think that's a fair point. Particularly their own being that, or sorry, is that not their own? No, that is the Rams one that they are utilizing at 6. And they are one of the teams that Nora Princiotti identifies as the interesting teams. And here's one of the reasons why. That was one of the most efficient offenses last season. And that got them where? They could sneaky go get a quarterback. Because you mentioned, like 972 mentioned, a couple of first round picks. Maybe you use those or some other allotment of picks to move up to maybe that 3 that we're talking about and go get you a dude who is better than Jared Goff. Because again, Jared Goff is very much bus driver, manager, and that's fine. But at this point, you are in a place where we've talked about how the NFC North can be a little sparse, all due respect to the Minnesota Vikings. And if that team, the way that they've played, the way that they fought, had a quarterback that's capable of doing something outside, like above the structure of offense, hey, maybe they could do something fun.
Yeah, Detroit's going to be an interesting team to watch in this draft because they've got several selections where they can do some real damage throughout the first couple of rounds in the NFL draft. So we'll see how Detroit moves. That was one team that we had talked about a little, I think maybe a week or 2 ago, who I felt could have a really strong draft given the positions that they're in. I'm trying to think if there was any other teams I found of interest. Tennessee.
Yeah, that's another one of those teams that might do the move up.
Because they need receiver help like crazy. Hello, Jackson Smith and Jigba, whomever you would want to possibly put there.
They're drafting at 11, and that's about where the Jackson Smith and Jigba whoever the first wide receiver off the board is, whether it's Zay Flowers, Addison, whoever you like most. Yeah. That's about where we start talking about the possibility of that happening.
Or maybe if Will Levis is sitting there, possibly at 11, because they also need a quarterback. Because if you believe the reports coming out of Tennessee, at least from Peter King, who covers the NFL nationally, of course, that they're quote-unquote losing faith already in Malik Willis. So that could be a problem as well. So Tennessee could go in a number of different directions given what they are needing to address, not just for the immediate, for their quarterback, whomever that's going to be in terms of a pass catcher, but maybe going in a different direction altogether with a new quarterback.
Yeah, I could see that as well. From the 469, if you score many points with an efficient offense, why would you waste your pick on a quarterback? Because you done gotten all the squeeze that you can get out of it, and you were not able to get to a certain place that was it was what you could be happy about for that season. But now, as expectations get bigger, you need to get bigger. And I think I personally view this differently than some folks who seem to believe that Jared Goff is a quarterback that you can, do big things with and win a Super Bowl with. It's not the way I view him. I think that he has limitations, and you maxed that out this past year. So again, they are in a place where if they want to keep rolling with them, they can do that for the next season or two. But I think that is a possibility. It is something that you can look out for. If they have some aspirations, maybe they can move up. Another team that might possibly do some moving up to try and address a quarterback situation. You know them cats that wear purple out in Baltimore?
Yeah.
Because I don't know exactly what they're doing, but you've got to be starting to get to a place. We are at the draft and you have not figured out what you're doing with Lamar Jackson. You got to have some level of question as to how you handle that situation.
Yeah, Baltimore will be interesting to watch to see what they do late in the first round as well. But all signs point to eventually Lamar Jackson being there, but it's definitely not a sure thing at this point. The NFL Draft on Thursday night. Coverage beginning at 6 p.m. on your home of the Cowboys, 105.3 The Fan. Our path to the draft coverage brought to you by Pluckers, K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing, and by the Owner's Box inside the Omni Hotel in Dallas. Again, we will be at all Pluckers locations on Thursday night. Again, Reg and I will be at 190 East Stacy Road in Allen. Come hang out with us. A lot of opportunities to be GM, play GM, make the pick, get some specials going, food, all kinds of great stuff will be happening at Pluckers in Allen on Thursday night. It's the Get Right with Reg and KG right here on 105.3 The Fan. Coming up next, how are the Knicks in their position that they are now? What LeBron did, and it was ice cold in Boston tonight. I'll tell you why next on the Get Right.
Coming up Wednesday morning on Sean and RJ, Stars Game 5, and did Jared Sandler
history. Time! Jalen Brunson from downtown. A 10-point Knick lead.
Of course, Mike Breen on the call for ESPN and ABC. Jalen Brunson with the dagger the other night to send the Knicks to a 3-1 series lead against the Atlanta Hawks. It's the Get Right with Reggie KG. No, not the Atlanta Hawks. The
Cleveland Cavaliers.
Cleveland Cavaliers, thank you. I'll get to the Hawks here in a minute. It's the Get Right with Reggie KG here on 105 through the Fan. Kevin Gray, Reginald Atatula, Ruben Portillo hold it down for here. Really appreciate you joining us on Odyssey and the Odyssey app. The Stars up 3-0 with 8 minutes left in the third period as they're trying to take a 3-2 lead against the Minnesota Wild. Tyler Seguin, an early goal in the first period. Jason Robertson and Mason Marchment, the other 2 goals, have the Stars up 3-0 in the third period as they're looking to take a 3-2 lead. At Kevin Gray Sports, at Reg Atatula on Twitter. The NBA playoffs continuing as well. Some terrific action tonight as the Clippers and the Phoenix Suns are underway. Meanwhile, it is 54-55. Denver up by 1 early on in the third quarter. But, Ruben, in Boston, the Atlanta Hawks stave off elimination because it was ice cold late in Boston thanks to this.
And here's Young. Backtracks, 5-2. Young lets it go. And hits. Woo! Ice cold. 119-117, but there's still 1.8 remaining.
That's a fun call.
Gus Johnson on the call for the NBA on TNT.
Yeah, who's my analyst on that? I want to know who added the Ric Flair woo.
I think that was Gus Johnson with the woo himself, actually. But the Boston Celtics the Atlanta Hawks behind 38 points from Trae Young get the 119-117 win on the road to get this thing back to Atlanta, where the Hawks are trying to force a decisive Game 7 back in Boston. Jaylen Brown had 35 on the night for the Celtics, but the Hawks shoot 46% from downtown, and the heroics from Trae Young with the go-ahead 3 extends this series at least one more game between the Hawks and the Celtics.
Shout out to them. Like, he might be playing for his Hawks life. Remember that ownership gave the green light after this postseason to, trade anybody who is necessary, including Trae Young. Like this, they are currently fighting for the current iteration of that team.
I mean, he may just be delaying the inevitable anyway.
Sure.
Still, but at the same time, he had his best performance of this series, and they needed it, and they got it to force a Game 6 in Atlanta. That game will be tomorrow, actually, back in Atlanta before a decisive Game 7 possibly is played.
Wait, they're playing back-to-back games?
That's what the schedule says, according to what I'm looking at here.
What are we doing?
Game 5 was tonight, and then Game 6 tomorrow, 4/26. Yeah, that is tomorrow. So,
Adam Silver, what are you doing, dog?
Well, it looks like it has adjusted. Okay, I don't know what ESPN had there in terms of their schedule.
So it's not Adam Silver.
So right, it's the ESPN schedule.
You know what it might be? All these people that they laying off. Whoever's supposed to update that.
That's not funny. That's not funny.
But they doing it.
They are doing it. So Game 6 will be on Thursday night in Atlanta, with a decisive Game 7 possibly being played a couple of days later. They may not need 7 games though in the Knicks and Cavs series.
All right, this is your pet one. Like, I think when it comes to any sport, especially like the playoffs, there are certain teams that that become your pets, that you keep an eye on a little bit more. And it seems like the Knicks have been yours.
Yeah, I'm just so fascinated by the way that this has flipped up so much for them. You think about just a couple of years ago, with Julius Randle leading the charge for them, and then of course disappointing last year. And then they get the best free agent signing of this past offseason. Yes, Dallas, meaning Jalen Brunson going from the Mavericks to New York. And Jalen Brunson's 29 points the other night, 50% from the field, has the Knicks on the brink of eliminating the Cleveland Cavaliers. Here's what's interesting, though, because how the Knicks have been able to get this done offensively to allow Jalen Brunson to have the kind of efficiency that we've seen against a long, lengthy, athletic defense that is the Cleveland Cavaliers. especially on the back end with Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, they've been putting their guards into a lot of action in terms of screen action for Jalen Brunson. Check this out. This comes from Second Spectrum.
Okay.
Through 4 games in this series, 53% of the screens set for Jalen Brunson have been by a guard or a wing. Compare that during the season, the number was only at 12%. So, what? I know, right? So the Knicks went from having a big set of screen for Brunson nearly 9 times out of 10 during the season to less than half the time so far against the Cavs.
You know what that means? The coaching staff is doing what coaching staffs do in the playoffs, at least good ones, all right? I've said it before, and it's something that I believe is a truism of basketball. The playoffs is not about what you can do, it's about what you can't do. And when it comes to the Cleveland Cavaliers, you know what? They can defend with their bigs. They've got 2 incredible bigs. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, like defensive player of the year type candidate players, right? And why would you want to then put your undersized point guard in actions where those guys are in defensive positions? You know who I would like to play offense against? Donovan Mitchell, who historically hasn't been a great defender. Darius Garland
knows something a lot about.
Darius Garland, who was a little bit smaller. Hey, yeah, the guy. What they can't do, come here. I'm gonna need you to show me that you can defend, right? And Jalen Brunson has the speed to get past dudes, and he has like the finesse and the tricks to be able to get up shots. So yeah, put in that action, put those guys into defensive positions, and go and attack their weaknesses. That's good playoff basketball.
And so far, it's worked. I encourage you to take a look at the piece from Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer, detailing this in further context about how the Knicks offensively have been able to get after Cleveland in this series. But man, the vibe, as the 214 talks about in terms of the Eastern Conference vibe there. Hey, man, we talk about these teams that when you get to playoff time, the proverbial, you don't want to see that team in the playoffs. Knicks are giving that vibe off right now. I don't know how deep that they can go. But as long as Jalen Brunson continues to be the head of the snake there, they're going to be a tough out, regardless of who takes them on in the next round, presuming they finish off Cleveland in Game 5 or Game 6, however long it takes to get that done.
Can we talk about the fact that the Grizzlies?
They
don't look ferocious at all.
Yeah, that's because LeBron James did something last night that he's never done in his NBA career and went full nuclear on Memphis. Take a listen.
He wanted James. He gets him. James drives. James is fouled. And one.
LeBron last night, 20 points, had a 20-20 game, becoming the oldest player in the history of the NBA to have at least 20 points and 20 rebounds in a playoff game. The only other person that was old enough at the time to have such a game, Wilt Chamberlain did it when he was 36 years old, and that was in May of 1973.
22.
Take that for data.
Yeah, 22, 20, and 7 assists. Now, KG.
And 2 blocks.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget those. KG, can you enlighten me? Who had the primary defensive assignment?
That would be one Dylan Brooks.
All right, Dylan Brooks, if you remember, after Game 2.
That's right.
When they got a win, he said he liked poking bears. And since that happened, he has skipped not one, but, well, first of all, he's gotten busted in his keister. And then secondly, he skipped not one, but 2 post-game media availabilities. Our friend Tim McMahon tweeting last night, Dylan Brooks didn't speak to reporters for the second straight game. Quote, "I'm out," he said. In addition to that, Ja Morant also skipped media availability. Ja Morant, mind you, the player who earlier in the season said, I'm good in the West. And in the first round is on the brink of elimination.
Ooh, you got receipts.
This is the thing. It's because it's hurting me. The Grizzlies were on the path to be like the funnest team in the league. I understand funnest isn't really a word.
No,
Rock with me here.
I like it.
They had the explosion. They had a lot of young guys. They played hard, right? It seemed like this was going to be the young, fun team. And now you find yourself in this place where they're annoying and they're not like they're not doing the things that you expect a team with a little bit of maturity to do. In fact, and the most annoying part about this, of course, going back to Dylan Brooks seems to want to be Draymond. He's cosplaying Draymond. And so, like, I want to be the villain. Part of being the villain is standing on yours. Being able to stand in the face of, like, the muck And Draymond Green has done that, right? The technicals and all this stuff and all the stuff that's come at him after his suspension. He's like, I'm going to be that. I'm always going to be that. I've been that for 33 years, and hopefully I could be that for 33 more. Dylan Brooks, however, I like poking bears to I don't want no pictures. No questions.
No comment.
Right, like that's...
Except he couldn't even give that.
That's the nasty part about this. Like, this is this part of, like, playoff basketball that you got to have some heart, and they don't look like they got heart.
Look, some of the reputation that they've gotten as time has gone on is that the Memphis Grizzlies are a bunch of front runners. They'll talk real big and bad when they're out there, beating people, handling business, but they shrink when things get tough.
Zebo and Tony Allen would be disgusted.
Completely.
Unbelievable.
So LeBron James has the Memphis Grizzlies on the brink of elimination. Yeah, 9-0-3. Reggie got all the receipts.
Does that not frustrate you too?
All of them.
Like, faking the funk is my thing, right? Like, if you're not going to be about it, don't be about it. Don't get out here faking the funk, man.
Yeah.
When it's time to put up.
Hey, watch your mouth.
Clearly, Dylan Brooks has been doing a lot of that because he's not saying a damn word at this point.
He should have watched his mouth before.
That's okay. I got to get this in. Here's the thing. I don't understand. LeBron James, 4-time champion at this point. Been there, done that, seen literally everything. You thought you, Dylan Brooks, you thought you was going to be the one to get under LeBron James. You thought you was the one in 21-1 to be out there and getting under LeBron James' skin. Bro, get the hell out of here. And you've seen what has happened since then. Come on, man. He the audacity of Dylan Brooks to think that he was the one to be that guy.
Wow, KG took him to church.
That's the funniest part to me. Dylan Brooks said, I got you. I'm gonna stand up, Memphis. I got you, Memphis. Come on my back. I got you.
Do what?
We're gonna take out LeBron ourselves together. You and I. Man, Dylan, get out of here, bro. By the way, let the church say amen.
Amen.
Before we go, because we're going to get to the Hockey Hawk, because the Stars tacked on another goal to make it 4-0.
That's done.
They are on their way to a pivotal Game 5 win. Hey, man, we can't let this thing go without acknowledging Jimmy Butler last night real quick, because as Kevin Harlan was in his entire bag last night, Jimmy Butler put on one of the greatest performances in the history of this league, thanks to his 56 points in helping the Heat win last night.
Butler. Long shot. Good.
Jimmy Butler, 56 points. Miami up 3-1 in that series. Got Giannis and company on the brink of elimination. Just had to acknowledge Jimmy Butler, the indomitable will that is Jimmy Butler and what he did for Miami.
Could Jimmy Butler shake up the league? And I'm asking this for
He shook up the world last night.
But the reason why I asked this, right? The Heat have put themselves in a position to be able to knock out the number 1 Milwaukee Bucks out of the first round, right? All right. Giannis is extension eligible. If he decides not to sign an extension, that is speaking very, very loudly. And that means that very soon he might be on the market, available to move.
He's not going nowhere.
All right, I'm just saying.
Yeah, Giannis not going nowhere. He's got his title there now. He knows that they're committed to winning. Yeah.
Okay. If you say so.
I need to find out what I said because I don't know what I said. Apparently I went I don't know. Whatever.
It was a real unfortunate choice of words.
Oh, I'm sure that Ruben's got marked. I'm sure.
That's right. Let's talk about this hockey, dog.
We will on the other side of the break. Stars on their way to a Game 5 when the Hockey Hawk himself, Gavin Spittle, joins us next on the Get Right.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, trunk lids, license plate holders, and headlights. They've got lots of headlights. When you need parts, get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's gonna fit. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hello, I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talk.
Available at TotalWine.com. Drink responsibly. B21.
Now Haskinen. Robertson. Score! 2-0 Dallas. Another power play goal.
Kenny Albert on the call for the NHL on TBS. Stars get the 4-0 win at the American Airlines Center. Get the pivotal Game 5 win, now up 3-2. It's the Get Right for Reggie KG on 105 through the fan. Kevin Gray, Reginald Atatula.
That's right.
Ruben Portillo holding it down for you here. We are now joined live in the DFWsecurity.com studios by our boss, the hockey hawk himself, Gavin Spittle, fresh off the Stars 3-2 win over the Minnesota Wild. What's going on, Gavin?
Man, stick tap to you guys. Love being on the Get Right.
Appreciate you hanging out with us a little bit. We know you got business to tend to once you get done with us.
And and everybody should know about that. If you enjoy the segment that we do here, check out the Spits and Suds podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. We're about to tape it, and it will be released in a few hours. And that way, when you wake up in the morning, or if you can't sleep at night, just put on some sweet sounds of Gavin Spittle and Sean Shapiro. More Sean than Gavin. I'm not so sweet.
The number, gentlemen, is 78.6. 78.6% of the time, the Game 5 winner goes on to win the best of 7 series in the NHL playoffs. Stars, Gavin, get it done tonight thanks to a very early goal from Tyler Seguin himself.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at this series, the Stars are capitalizing on Minnesota penalties. And the Stars haven't really been effective on 5-on-5 play. And an early penalty, which was a major, determined Marcus Foligno and knee-on-knee collision with Radek Faksa. And that really, you're taking out what I feel is one of the more effective players for the Wild in Marcus Foligno. He's been getting under the Stars' skin, being in front of the net. He's a very rough player, very physical. You take him out of the game, and now you're down 1 from the Wild and Tyler Seguin. I can't say enough about Tyler Seguin. Tyler Seguin has changed his game. Tyler Seguin, when he first came into the league, was more like McDavid, more like, he was fast, and he had a sharp shot. Tyler Seguin has become a better two-way player, and filling in for Joe Pavelski, he's exactly what Pavelski does. He's in front of the net. He's creating screens. He's doing a lot of the things that Joe Pavelski would normally do. Lots of credit to Tyler Seguin.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because it seemed to me like the Wild were trying to muck this thing back up, because it seemed like that was their path to success when they did win these games, was they made it physical and they stopped it from being like open ice, free-flowing hockey.
Right. I think the biggest thing for Stars fans to understand, that's not the Stars style. But that doesn't mean what the Wild does is dirty. There are various styles in the NHL. You can have speed and quickness and scoring ability like the Stars. You can play like the former Ken Hitchcock teams, defensive hockey, kind of lay back. You have teams that clog the neutral zone, which is kind of boring hockey, but very effective at times. And then you have the Minnesota Wild, which exert their physicality on you, try to create unforced errors, try to have you respond to that physicality, and that's how they score and go on offense. So you have different styles, and the Stars style prevailed tonight. Minnesota tried early, but once they dropped Foligno, they were taking too many penalties, and, the Stars were capitalizing.
Now, you mentioned, the ways in which the Stars have absolutely been dynamite on power plays.
Yeah.
Not so much 5-on-5.
Right.
Specifically, Robertson has had some struggles in 5-on-5. Is that concerning to you? Because it does seem like the Stars are going to, at the very worst, take care of home ice and move along. But now aspirations for going deep in the Stanley Cup playoffs are here for the Stars. Do you have any concern about that dichotomy in scoring?
It certainly was a little bit of a topic, Reggie, just based on he struggled last year in the first round against Calgary. And then, he's been struggling in this series, opened up a little bit tonight. I actually thought he had a pretty good game, looked good out there. So, scored a goal, which was great. And there was a lot of open ice for the Stars to do their magic. I think the other thing that people have to understand is, the Wild were basically in the box most of the night. When you're in the penalty box, not only you're a man down, but it changes your lines when you come back, because you're constantly putting your kill guys out there. Well, your penalty kill guys are also on natural lines, so you have to switch lines up. So the other thing to think about tonight is that one of the best aspects of being a home team is you get the last change. In other words, when they come on the ice, the Minnesota Wild show what they're going to do, and then the Stars can respond. So when they go Friday in Minnesota, Minnesota will have the last change. So when the Stars put out their first line, the Wild can put out their best defensive unit against that first line.
we would be remiss if we did not talk about the performance of Jake Ottinger tonight.
Yeah.
27 for 27 on save opportunities. His second career playoff shutout. Absolutely fantastic in a game that obviously the Stars had to have. Jake Ottinger, fantastic for the Stars tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's been elite his whole career, and I just love his calmness around the net. Stole the last game. And tonight, I mean, was tested at times, but, didn't have to steal the game tonight, which is always nice. But you like to see your goalie be rewarded from last game and from tonight. I mean, he's playing really good hockey. What I love is his calmness around the net. And when you look at that last save of the last game, not only the push off to get to the other side, but making himself look as big as possible and holding that glove up. That is a skill set that is very tough to match. You have different styles of goalies, some flop, some are, but the calmness of Jake Ottinger, I think, is something the Stars should be excited about for the future. I mean, you have an elite goaltender for the future who signed up long-term as well. So we have to give credit to Jim Nill in the offseason, signing Jason Robertson to a long-term contract, signing Jake Ottinger, signing Rope Hintz to a long-term contract. I mean, we'll see how this, turns out, but right now, those contracts are paying huge dividends.
All right, so you clearly have a more trained hockey eye than myself, KG. Well, I can't speak for KG. I don't know if he's...
What you mean? I'm a hockey expert.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't speak for you.
I'll tell you what, man. If I was going up against the boards, I wouldn't want either of you.
Your boy would be doing some heavy breathing by the time he got to the board, so you don't even worry about that.
I would be trying to avoid... I would like open ice myself.
Yes. Hey, sub line
especially,
change.
I saw somebody,
Change.
Rupe, catch one of these wild players in the eye with his stick.
It was Ryan Reeves.
Yes, there you go. Yeah. But any other observations that you were able to catch throughout the course of this game that really caught your eye?
I think when you put pressure on the Minnesota Wild and you put pressure as far as screens on Gustafsson, we've seen that in the last two games. If he has clear looks, he's played really well. But the last couple of games, the Stars have done a really good job, specifically Tyler Seguin, creating screens. And the Stars are also very good at semi-legal picks going across the zone, which also creates screens. So kudos to Pete DeBoer for making that adjustment after watching the film. That's something I saw tonight. They were all in the grill of Gustafsson, and that created a lot of problems for him early.
The Hockey Hawk, Gavin Spittle, joining us here on the Get Right with Reggie KG. Stars 4-0 over the Minnesota Wild, take a 3-2 lead as the series moves back to Minnesota.
We finishing it in 6, or are we going to get it on home ice?
Boy, that's, this series has been so tough to predict. The NHL playoffs have been so tough to predict. The Islanders could have been eliminated tonight. They go into Carolina and win. So, it's one of those things. I personally feel as though this thing's probably going 7.
Well,
yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if it finishes in 6. But that's a tough barn to play, and we'll see. I've said all series, the style that exerts itself wins, and clearly, when each team has won, you've seen that style on display.
Right.
That's the best way I can simplify this.
Yeah.
If the Wild come out and become physical and create some havoc and problems and forecheck deep, they're going to win the game. If there's open ice and the Stars get on the power play and use their speed and skill, they're going to win the series.
It's fun watching the Stars in transition. I will say that.
Very fun.
It's very fun to see all that speed on display.
When you take a step back, and it's tough playing against a Wild team because you don't like seeing your players, being checked, being roughed, so to speak. But at the same time, when you take a step back, this has been a terrific first-round series. A lot of drama, dynamics, former players in Minnesota. There's just
the whole
many
dynamic and storyline all together with these two franchises, and obviously how the Stars leaving Minnesota and everything else that's transpired here. It makes for a compelling series.
And to me, this is the definition of a rivalry. And this is what the NHL wanted when they put the 2nd seed and the 3rd seed together in the division. This is exactly, both cities right now hate each other. And that's a rivalry. When you look at the Stars versus St. Louis, I don't think the St. Louis Blues fans were really thought of the Stars. They
right. It can't be one-sided.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Right,
They're more like, hey, we hate the Blackhawks. that kind of thing. So I think we have a natural rivalry developing, and that's really nice.
Yeah, it is fun. I've also enjoyed being able to find the games immediately.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really do. It sounds like a joke, but I feel like hockey has been, with this new TV deal, they've been able to garner more of the casual fan, and that's what you need to showcase the brilliance that is playoff hockey.
Yeah, absolutely. While it hasn't become as popular as Charles, Shaq, Kenny, and Ernie, the crew here for TNT and now TBS have done a really good job as far as bringing personality for hockey onto your TV screen. And then you look at ESPN, I think they've done a nice job. I'm a big PK Subban guy as a broadcaster, and so I think they've done a good job. The other thing to keep in mind, you're getting highlights on ESPN constantly, and that grows the sport.
By the way, speaking of ESPN, John Butchergrass is going to be on with with the G-Bag Nation on Friday.
Nice.
At 4 o'clock.
Butchie.
There you go.
That's a good guest.
Yeah, so John Butchergrass is going to be joining the fellas from the G-Bag Nation Friday at 4 o'clock talking all things NHL playoffs. It's the Spits and Suds podcast, an Odyssey podcast where you get your podcast for free.
Yeah.
Starring the Hockey Hawk himself, Gavin Spittle, Sean Shapiro. Immediately following, of course, the Stars and Wild Game. They'll be recording that here in just a moment.
Yeah, we're a little behind Love of the Star podcast as far as numbers.
Hey,
we're grinding away. We're like a third
slow
line.
and
We're
steady
grinding
wins
away.
the race.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Against
right.
the Cowboys, I'm not certain, but you just keep working at it.
I mean, we're not at 1 million downloads yet, like Broadus and Bell, but we're getting there.
One download at a time. Appreciate your time.
You guys are
Thank
awesome.
You.
Thank you so much for having me.
You got it. There he goes. The Hockey Hawk, Gavin Spittle, as the Stars get the 4-0 win at home at the AAC. Jake Ottinger, 27 for 27 on save opportunities. And now an opportunity to close it out on the road against Minnesota. Again, 78.6% of the time, the winner of Game 5 goes on to win the best of 7 series. By the way, 903, self-deprecation is a way to get through life. Okay? I know what I am. I know what I can do on the ice. Nothing. So I don't mind making fun of myself. But I appreciate your concern.
Have you ice skated?
No.
Neither have I.
No.
I think I can, though. I'm just an athlete, but not that level athlete.
Oh, wow. Just low-key
No,
flex
just
there.
generally, I'm an athlete, athletic stuff. Usually I can figure that out. I don't know about doing all that, though. That's my thing.
Coming up next on the Get Right, we're Reggie KG on 105.3 The Fan. Steven talked today with the KNC Masterpiece, and this ESPN mock draft has the Cowboys taking this Big 12 player. We'll tell you who it is next on the Get Right.
The latest from the Star in Frisco, as well as inside information from around the league. It's DFW. It's time for the Get Right on 105.3 The Fan.
It is indeed time for the Get Right with Reg and KG on 105.3 The Fan. Kevin Gray, Reginald Atatula, Ruben Portillo holding it down for you here on this Tuesday night. Yes, Perry the Platypus making his nightly appearance as well. I appreciate you joining us on Odyssey and the Odyssey app. A victorious Tuesday night for the Stars as they take a 3-2 lead, looking to close out the Minnesota Wild in Game 6 on the road. Stars get a terrific performance from Jake Ottinger, 27 for 27 on save opportunities. Stars win 4-0. Appreciate you joining us. If you're just leaving the American Airlines Center on your drive back home, Kevin Gray, Reginald Atatula, Ruben Portillo, at Kevin Gray Sports, at Reg Atatula. If you want to get at us on Twitter. Yes, 972 for the one time and the one time only.
I'm not doing it today.
Oh, you've boycotted?
Yeah.
Yeah,
y'all starting to treat me like a jukebox. I don't like this.
See what you did? You had a good thing going and all of a sudden messed it up. Maybe if it comes organically, maybe he'll say it. We'll see.
That's right.
We'll see. But unfortunately, the good guys, the Rangers, they fall for the second straight time to the Cincinnati Reds at the Great American Ballpark. That is because the bullpen, once again, could not handle its business late.
Yes.
I know, Sean. I know. There was some terrific offense, though.
Wait, that was Sean?
That was Sean.
I thought that was Krusty the Clown. One more time for me. No, like legitimately.
Yeah.
Tell me that don't sound a little bit like Krusty the Clown. All right, so you're just going to leave me out here by myself. That's fine. 877-881-1053. Did that sound, one more time, does this sound like Krusty the Clown?
Yeah.
The people will come defend me. The people will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/Dallas Fan Cam. Also on YouTube, 105 The Fan on YouTube. Make sure you hit the subscribe button while you are there. Our path to the draft coverage brought to you by Pluckers, K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing, and, of course, the last one that immediately just left my brain, the Owner's Box. Shout out to the Owner's Box.
There it is. I'm sure that was great for their advertising. Just left my brain.
Well, I was on a roll.
No, I feel you. You're right.
And then it just, but shout out to the Owner's Box inside the Omni Hotel. By the way, G-Bag Nation, they're going to be there.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And thank you, everybody, piling on to the truckwreck.com text line to let me know that it does indeed sound like Krusty the Clown. Shout out to all our Simpsons lovers.
Oh, that was from that the Trajan Wealth commercial that he does. When he talks about the the stock market and everything else. Yeah, that's great. That's a great. Did you pull that yourself? Did you pull that?
Actually, Kevin Hagelin from the KNC Masterpiece.
Oh, really?
Yeah, during just like a commercial, like, Ruben, can you just grab that drop of?
That's right.
Sean just saying, Let me play I have a little bit here. Let me play a little.
So what should people do?
The rest of the drop is even better. Like, not just that part, but the rest of it put together in context, that much better. Hopefully, as we transition, the Cowboys fans won't be saying what on Thursday night?
So what should people do?
When it comes to the Cowboys and what they're drafting on Thursday. Right. You see what I did there?
I think you did it. I think you did it well.
That's a lead transition.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you. In fact, round of applause.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. I'll be here till midnight tonight. Stephen Jones talked today to the KNC Masterpiece. By the way, he's been doing a lot of talking as of late, as he should, getting ready for the NFL's annual selection meeting as the Cowboys draft at number 26 overall. And they have a decision to make. We'll get to ESPN's NFL Nations writers mock draft that they had tonight. A very interesting choice that they made at number 26, thanks to ESPN's Taracha. We'll get to that shortly. But let's start here. Let's just start with cut number one.
Oh. Go ahead. You got it.
With Stephen Jones. So, Stephen, once you have your board, do you go into the draft with thoughts of trading up or trading down?
Yeah, I mean, you go through all the above, and certainly you go through mock drafts. You go through a lot of different things. We obviously, we know what it takes to get to, certain points of the draft. If, there happens to be a player that starts to come our way that was unexpected, then, you look at that. So, we call them strategy sessions, but they go from everything from mock drafts to potential scenarios to move up or down.
Yeah, okay.
Look, I think that's one of the only other intrigues of this particular pick for the Cowboys. Will they decide to have some kind of movement at number 26 based on what the draft is starting to present to them with their options there?
Right, and that's just thinking about movement within that round.
Yes.
The idea that was asked after, which I thought was a very good question, I think Corey stole from a listener. The possibility of moving a pick, not just up or down in the draft, but also just trying to get another veteran, as it seems like they've done already in this offseason.
Well, you don't ever rule anything out. Obviously, you're in quick evaluation mode. And I'll say this, veterans right before the draft usually come at a good price. After the draft, then things go back up again, and people aren't valuing picks as much because you're a year away from using them, and harder to make something happen. So there have been some things where people might be fire selling a veteran, but one of the problems you got is usually when you're talking about trading a guy, which it did with both Gilmore and Cooks, there's the evaluation, and a lot of times having to work through with an agent what the contract's going to look like, if we make the trade.
I found that to be really interesting because, it shows an acknowledgement of the value that could be out there. Also, I would love to have heard, a follow-up, and I understand there's only so much that the guys can get to. The Cowboys have kind of been attached to some running backs that could be available after the draft. And so, I mean, the idea that maybe instead of adding through the draft, that they add some guys that have some level of proven nature, whether it's a running back or some other player, I do think that that's an interesting prospect. I don't know that affects 26, honestly, but I do think that that's an interesting concept to keep in the back of your mind for the Cowboys.
Well, let's keep it rolling. Cut number 3. Steven, what do you feel like is the strongest position group in this year's class?
That's a good question. In general, believe it or not, which happens to work good for us, I'd say probably tight ends, through about 5-6 rounds, if not the full draft. And then, probably behind that would be, and usually is, it's not a surprise, the running backs. There's usually always a good group of running backs to choose from, and probably same holds for receivers. I mean, depending on what your flavor is for what you may be looking for that particular year, there's always a lot of receivers as well.
You read that as Steven giving away the game?
No, not quite. I mean, the tight end class this year is extremely good.
Sure.
Which why it confuses
me.
me.
It wasn't the idea that he said that was good. One, that he said it first, and two, the idea that he said, which is probably good for us.
Yeah, that's
then he went into
the part of the game. It's like, now hold on, what? Because I have been of the belief, especially over the last few days, that if Michael Mayer is there, I think the Cowboys make that selection. The question is, will he even get there? Because as we go to the NFL Nation mock draft for ESPN that was conducted tonight, their group of writers, all 32 writers covering all 32 NFL teams, made their picks. And I guess there's only 31 teams picking in this year's first round because the Miami Dolphins forfeited their selection.
For doing shenanigans.
Out here on the shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Chargers in this particular mock draft, they actually took Michael Mayer at number 21 overall. Now, let's just run down the first 5 for you because this will be of interest to you. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud.
Okay.
So that means Houston takes a quarterback. Will Anderson goes at 3. Your boy Anthony Richardson goes at 4.
Fantastic.
To the Indianapolis Colts. Jalen Carter rounds out the top 5, going 5
to Seattle.
The Fighting Geno Smiths. Tyree Wilson goes at 6 to Detroit, so on and so forth. Now, the first receiver doesn't come off the board in this mock draft, until 11 with Jackson Smith and Jigba going to the Tennessee Titans. Zay Flowers goes at 12 to the Houston Texans. The first tight end that comes off the board, by the way, forgotten that Tennessee's got Houston has 2 picks within the first 12 picks of the first round.
Dalton Kincaid, is that first tight end?
Tight end, yeah. Dalton Kincaid is the first one off the board, going to Green Bay after, of course.
That's an interesting way of going about that, right? If you add a pass catcher, specifically one that has like wide receiver type capabilities for a young quarterback that you're not exactly sure what he can do, but you want to give him the best opportunity to succeed. Yeah, I think that's interesting.
Bijan Robinson goes at 14 to the Patriots in this particular mock draft.
Well,
so there goes your Bijan Robinson fantasy there. Now, the other couple of interesting ones. 19, Will Levis goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Joey Porter Jr., which I would think would be a perfect fit, obviously, because his daddy played in Pittsburgh. He goes at 17 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Great fit there. Michael Mayer, as I mentioned, goes 21 to the Chargers. Who do you believe that Todd Archer of ESPN, who covers the Dallas Cowboys, selected at number 26 for the Dallas Cowboys?
I'm trying to remember who all did. Is it Osiris Torrance?
Offensive lineman for Florida.
Yeah?
No.
Okay. Oh, you want me to keep guessing?
You got one more in you or no?
Nah, I'm good.
At number 26, Todd Archer, based off of the way that this draft board fell, takes Will McDonald IV from Iowa State, the talented, that's right, the edge rusher from Iowa State. Now, here's what's interesting about that. Dan Quinn personally went to Ames and worked out Will McDonald IV. And we have heard quite a bit. There's an affinity for this player by the Dallas Cowboys. There's others that we have heard. Obviously, Michael Mayer, a name that's starting to catch a little bit of fire because, the Cowboys do things like this. Drew Sanders, who's arguably considered the best linebacker in this draft, could possibly be in play at 26. But what do you think about the selection of Will McDonald there by the Cowboys based off of Todd Archer's pick for America's team?
Yeah, he's a really unique football player. Played right here at Denton Ryan. Played tight end and quarterback, and I think he, had the choice to go to Oklahoma as a tight end or Alabama as a linebacker, and I think he chose. I know he chose Alabama as a linebacker. John Stephen played against him in one of the state championship games, maybe. But he's a younger player than him, and John Stephen had left. Sanders played 1 year at Arkansas, which was this year, and transferred in from Alabama, and was wanting to have a change of scenery. Had a great year with Arkansas, and I think he's a very unique player. He understands the game well. He's a coach's son. Dad's a high school football coach. He knows what it takes. He's got great, football IQ, great football and instincts, and a really good football player.
Okay. He seemed to know a lot about Drew. Now, of course, that could just be he played for my guy's favorite college football team.
And his son knows him, fairly well as well, or has an idea of him, obviously, as a player. So that's a name that could sneak in at number 26. But the name Will McDonald there is a name that we've heard quite a bit being linked to the Cowboys. And I tend to think as we are now just a couple of days away, and by the time we get to around this time Thursday night, the Cowboys should be making their pick. If it's offense and he's there, I think the pick is Michael Mayer. You say Kevin, there's been a bunch of smoke screens, but there's too many people whom we tend to trust around this time of the year saying that particular name. And now the Will McDonald name is one that on defense, if the Cowboys go defense, I think could be the pick there. But again, we don't know anything for certain.
You could just, we don't know anything
for certain.
Yeah, man. So the draft boards ends up shaking different, trades end up shaking up the landscape. And then also, we only know but so much, man. Like, it's Lions season, and in addition to that, we're all hypothesizing. We've thrown out so many different things. Eventually, one of these things will stick to the wall, and we can go back and say, well, this person was right. How much of that was right and how much of that just was happenstance. it really is just one of those things where we're going to have to see how this breaks out. And some of the reason why this seems so tough to be able to put our finger on is the Cowboys did a good job of making it so that there's not a glaring hole that is going to dictate to them how they handle this draft. Plus, they're lower in the draft, so there's a lot more contingencies. There's a lot more things that can change, whether it's, one team making a decision that you could not have foreseen and changing the way that all of the remaining picks fall. I'm very intrigued to see how it goes. And one of the things that I feel confident about is that the Cowboys are going to get a solid player. And
is there a position group that you'd be disappointed, though, in if that was taken at 26?
Kicker. No, jokes aside. Jokes aside. I know that some people, I saw someone on the truckwreck.com text line saying earlier, or actually that might have been YouTube, saying, do not draft a wide receiver. And I could kind of see that because of how the wide receiver class at the very top isn't as strong, and your wide receivers are pretty, full up in the ways that they are. I don't know. I don't know that there's one that I would be actively disappointed in just based off of what the position group is, because can I take you back to 2 years ago when they took a off-ball linebacker and we were all here craning our necks and such. And that
dude was like, what you doing taking an off-ball linebacker
right?
at 12?
That is a position that we all would have been like, yo, why are you doing this? And he turns out to be one of the best defensive players in the league.
And then Michael's like, nah, actually.
So like, hey.
I do this other stuff too.
Instant reaction is necessary in this game. That being the case, though, we got to wait till we see football. So whoever they draft, I'm willing to go with for some level of, we'll find out. We'll see.
By the way, for this 214 that was wondering what the Eagles did in that particular case with the number 10 overall pick, they took in this mock draft Paris Johnson Jr. to go on their offensive line.
Okay. I mean, it makes sense. Athletic, strong offensive line, continue to perpetuate that so you can keep pushing folks around.
So that does mean, yes, in this particular mock draft by ESPN, they passed on Bijan Robinson.
Oh, yeah, that would send us into an uproar. It would. I know us. It would. We'd all lose our minds around here.
Oh, man. The NFL draft is on Thursday night. Coverage again begins at 6 p.m. on your home of the Dallas Cowboys. Runs till 11 o'clock. Then you have the post-NFL draft show with yours truly and the three-time Hall of Famer Chris Arnold, which will last until 1 a.m. Friday morning. You will have all of your draft coverage all weekend long here on 105.3 The Fan. Coming up next here on the Get Right with Reggie KG here on 105.3 The Fan, we go around the National Football League, get you caught up on the latest news and notes in and around the NFL. We do it next on 105.3 The Fan.
Keep the volume turned up all day and night. And thanks.
on the Get Right with Reggie KG here on 105.3 The Fan. Kevin Gray, Reginald Atatula.
Hello.
Ruben Portillo holding it down for you here. Really appreciate you joining us on Odyssey and the Odyssey app. About to go around the National Football League here on this Tuesday night.
You're late, Perry. You're late.
No, oh, wow. Wow.
Be on time, Perry, okay?
So aggressive.
I don't know. You know what? That's just me deflecting. The roof of my mouth hurts. How does that happen?
Why?
I don't know.
What'd you eat for dinner?
Apples.
That was your dinner?
Kind of.
Did you eat anything else earlier today?
Yeah.
What did you have to eat today?
I had some rice. Nigerian,
okay.
Some Nigerian food.
Did you have Captain Crunch or something for breakfast?
No. I don't do that. I'm way too old for that.
First of all,
for making that mistake, eating Captain Crunch and tearing up my mouth. That's the point.
Oh, I was like disrespecting the shade toward Captain Crunch for what?
Captain Crunch is
For
pretty
what?
tasty. I'm also out of the game of eating sugary cereals.
Okay.
Personally. This has gone down a whole different path that I did not expect.
Well, because I thought you were slandering Captain Crunch for a second. I was like, what are we doing here? But then you clarified your stance on that.
That's right.
So I'm glad you did that.
I think it's just late. This is typically the time where we do the late night nonsense. Not intentionally.
I just want to make sure the roof of your mouth is where it needs to be. Okay.
It's not. But I need to light a candle.
At 10:25 p.m.
Hey,
exactly.
Vibes, okay? They're immaculate in New York, clearly not here in Dallas, but that's another story for another day. As we go around the National Football League here, see, the 903 had the exact same question as me. Captain Crunch? Because that's why is it that okay, wait a minute, cut the music off for a second. Why is it that like me and the 903, like the first thing we naturally go to when somebody says the roof of their mouth hurts, we ask them if they ate Captain Crunch? Because
Captain Crunch, you know damn well Captain Crunch is like razor blades for the top of your mouth.
That is true. And that's not the feeling that you want normally, after breakfast, but they're so damn good.
It's a B tier cereal.
What are you doing?
Oh, we got to tier the cereal.
Are you really doing this?
I think we have to. I mean, we'll talk about football. We'll talk about that later.
I know, but I'm saying B tier?
B tier.
Yeah.
I got questions for you. Questions.
We'll do it on sandwich time. That's how you do a tease.
Oh, okay. Oh,
wait, I thought you had something else for sandwich time.
We got a combo platter for sandwich time.
Oh, we're not going to have enough time.
It's the KNC Get Right show, huh?
I guess
combo platter, huh?
Yeah, late night combo platter.
Pizza does. If sometimes pizza will hurt the top of your mouth.
What kind of pizza are you eating that's hurting the top of the roof of your mouth?
Funyuns.
Unless it's super
Funyuns
hot.
Funyuns do. Yeah, when it's hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's called burning the top of your mouth. We're talking about. I thought like.
Do burns not hurt?
No,
the defense rests.
You know what I meant, damn it. You know what I meant.
You knew what I meant.
No.
Order in the cart.
Play the
you
around
can't
here.
handle the truth.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. What's happening? We're going to go around the NFL. What are we supposed to be doing?
Oh, man.
The comedy portion of the Get Right here on 105.3 The Fan.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, you can call it that. Let's go to this because if y'all weren't already upset at the idea of Bijan Robinson possibly going to the Philadelphia Eagles at number 10 on Thursday night, check out this piece of audio today on NFL Live as Bijan Robinson told Laura Rutledge and Dan Orlovsky the favorite quarterback he would love to play with. Take a listen.
If you could pick any quarterback in the NFL to line up with and go play with, who would it be?
There's a lot of great quarterbacks.
You got to pick one, and you can't say Patrick.
Jalen Hurts.
Nice. Hey, what would that look
I'll
like?
say that. Hold it real quick. If you went to Philly, I would pick you to be the offensive rookie of the year because of this one reason.
All right, cut that off. Cut that off.
That's y'all's favorite, Dan Orlovsky.
Why he got to do this? Like, we know you want to work for the Eagles, Dan. We know you want to be in their front office. But come on, man. Relax.
We knew that?
Allegedly.
Oh, I was like, I guess I missed it. My bad.
The point is, like, you don't have to do all that, Dan.
I know what the clear point with that clip was. Why is his voice so deep? Oh, my gosh. That's a grown man. Can you play a little bit of Bijan? Can you isolate just Bijan's voice right quick for me? Because that sounds like a dude who's going to run through a dude's face.
There's a lot of great quarterbacks.
You got to pick one, and you can't say Patrick.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, why is that so deep?
I mean, it was.
Maybe it's just the phone quality because it also sounded a little wobbly.
Yeah, my man. What's his name? Dolph Kleiman was the one that recorded that piece of audio for us.
Recorded it with a rock.
What?
He recorded it with a rock.
I don't know.
It's gonna be too difficult to explain that joke to him.
Yeah,
I got what you meant though.
Yeah,
I usually go with potato.
Okay.
Potato.
Okay.
I think potato just like audibly sounds funny. Like that picture was taken with a potato.
I like that. I like potato better. All right, cool. Continue.
Mm-hmm. You were good here?
Yeah, we're done.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
You can jump back in the conversation, old man.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Is that in lieu of not saying that tonight?
That's right.
That's what you're gonna go with? Hey, you feel good about that? I feel good in your spirit?
But it's a decision that I made and I'm gonna stick with it.
Well, I'm gonna make Reds feel even better because his favorite correspondent.
Lord have mercy.
Yep, you got it. Ian Rappaport. Hey, Ian, talk to me about this run of wide receivers that we could see on Thursday night, starting with who?
I wouldn't be surprised if we got close. I don't think it'll be 6, but if 4 maybe went in the first round, I don't think that would be anything that would surprise everyone. And, it does seem to be, based on the people I've spoken with, that Jackson Smith-Njigba is probably most people's number one. Would expect him to go somewhere in the teens, maybe even the early teens. I would say that's something you talk to the receiver needy teams, talk to other general managers. That's what a lot of them believe. And then you might get to kind of a sweet spot in the first round. You look at, let's say, past the Steelers. You got the Lions, the Bucks, the Seahawks, the Chargers, the Ravens, the Vikings from like 18 to 23. A lot of those teams are going to look at receivers. So you might see Zay Flowers. Certainly Addison would be in the mix there. Quentin Johnston, probably the only big guy, would be in the mix there at 1. We might see a run on receivers. So, yeah, is it the top high-end class that we're accustomed to? Not really. We still could see multiple first-rounders.
All right, wide receiver, obviously a position where you want to lock it.
4, as many as 4 wide receivers.
The 4 being, he already laid those out, right? I'm sorry, I got distracted by the music in the background.
Oh, okay. JSN.
No, not the around the NFL music. The actual music that NFL Network decided to play.
Oh, that's what got you?
Yeah, it was a little distracting. You know what it is? I think I'm tired. It very much feels
clearly
like
because the roof of your mouth hurt.
I'm just my brain going all sorts of different
distracted
places.
by the NFL Network's music.
But yeah, I guess look, Jordan Addison, well regarded. Jackson Smith-Njigba, clearly. Zay Flowers has been kind of like some of the draft evaluators. Pet cat in some ways. And then we saw with Quentin Johnston, he big and fast, right? Like the people love that, right? So I can easily see how those 4 end up being first rounders.
And as we mentioned, the NFL Nation mock draft that they did, they had JSN going at 11. Then they had Zay Flowers going at 12 to Houston. And then Quentin Johnston going at 25 to the New York Giants. And then the other one, Jordan Addison, going at 27 to Buffalo. That would be interesting. Jordan Addison in a Buffalo Bill offense with Josh Allen. That actually would be kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, man.
Not going to lie to you. That'd be kind of fun to watch. As we continue around the National Football League here on the Get Right with Reg and KG. Again, the NFL Draft just 2 days away here on your home of Dallas Cowboys football.
Can I throw something in here?
Sure.
Because I just found this to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
Really, that's basically the entirety of my reason for bringing this up. You familiar with Christian McCaffrey? Ed McCaffrey's son?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. He said this in a Monday press conference, that he's glad to have Sam Darnold as a teammate again. Quote, Sam's great. He can do everything. He can make any throw. He's smart. He's able to pick things up quickly and do his job. He doesn't play beyond anything and just does exactly what he's told all the time and adds a little flair to it. The big pull quote for me was he said this: I don't think Sam Darnold gets a lot of credit for his toughness.
Okay.
Why do you think that is, Christian? Because the toughness don't matter if you be out here staying and throwing this football.
That kind of a statement is in lieu of he ain't that good, but what he can do is just be tough. He can get out there and take them hits and keep on getting up.
Oh, that's he try hard?
Yeah, that's try hard guy.
Okay, got you.
Relatively, low on talent, but, real high on effort. and try hard guy. Because one of the things that made me upset, I think it was 2 years ago? It feels like forever now at this point. Remember when Baker Mayfield kept getting out there every week? Torn labrum, shoulder injury.
That wasn't last season? That feels like last season.
No, it was with
not
Cleveland.
this past season, but the season before.
That,
I got what you mean when you said 2.
Yeah.
That's always a continue.
No, I get it. It always throws the ball.
Yeah.
Just sit down. At some point, you're just hurting the team, getting out here every week, trying to prove to us how tough you are. We get how tough you are. You play football to start off with. So you got to have some measure of, craziness and toughness to play the game as it is.
I feel what you did there.
Anyway. But yeah, come on, man. And here's the thing. I know Kyle Shanahan has to be sick of the idea. Why do I got to get out here with these, satisfactory quarterbacks? When can I get my Patrick Mahomes? When can I get my Lamar Jackson? I tried to go get him in Trey Lance, but now y'all don't even want him around here no more. Actually, I don't want him around here no more because he's got a busted ankle and he may not be good enough.
And they about to try and give the reins to Brock Purdy.
Look, I don't care how far-fetched it is.
And that's not really shade to Brock Purdy. I'm just like, he played well. That is not comparable to what you're talking about here, though.
No, because I'm still of the mind. If I'm San Francisco, once this draft is over with, I'm calling Baltimore. Hey, what y'all talking about with Lamar Jackson? Because if Christian McCaffrey thinks Sam Darnold's, that guy, wait till he get a load of that dude named Lamar Jackson if he shows up in a San Francisco 49er uniform.
Who are the quarterbacks that Christian McCaffrey has played with?
Look at it. That's an exercise right there.
Anyways.
That's your trip around the National Football League here on the Get Right. Shout out to Justin Jefferson and Joe Burrow. Both of them had their fifth-year options picked up by the Bengals and the Vikings, respectively.
I'm sure that was a tough decision to make.
Of course it was. By the way, blank check for Justin Jefferson. Next contract, blank check.
I mean, I feel like you got to. Like that could be one of those like Ring of Honor type dudes.
You know what I would?
He's really good at football.
You know where I want to be at?
Where's that?
I want to be in the room when the Brown family gets together and decides how much money they're going to pay Joe Burrow.
The answer is yes.
But how much pain is going to be on their faces? Like, wait, we got to write a check that says how much on it?
The only limitation on that check is how much guaranteed money, apparently, because that's the place where they stop. They're like, we can't guarantee all this money, but we'll write it down.
Joe Burrow
What
should put
did he
this.
say?
He should put in this contract. Get us a damn facility worth something around here. Coming up next here on the Get Right, we go inside the gray area. Why y'all need to stop eating French fries. Next on the Get Right.
Coming up on the next KNC Masterpiece, it is a
BetOnline.com/draft.
Get the top stories, exclusive podcasts, video content, and much more 24/7 at 1053thefan.com.
About to go inside the gray area here on the Get Right with Reggie KG on 105.3 The Fan. Kevin Gray, Reginald Atatula.
I think I'm delirious.
Ruben Portillo holding it down for you here on this Tuesday night as Player the Platypus appears once again. At Kevin Gray Sports, at Reg Atatula if you want to give us a follow there on Twitter. Coming up at the top of the hour, get you caught up on the latest headlines in the world of sports on this Tuesday night as the Stars get the Game 5 win at the AAC. Unfortunately, the good guys go down for the second straight night in Cincinnati, thanks to the failings of the bullpen once again. Also, Trae Young getting it done for Atlanta. We'll get you caught up on the rest of everything happening at the top of the hour. Right now, though, let's go inside the gray area, where of course there is no gray area. As it appears, the Denver Nuggets are about to get the Minnesota Timberwolves out the paint.
I don't know. A 3-point shot could send us to overtime. Hold on now.
Let's hope not.
Why?
I've drawn this ire for Minnesota over the last few days that has been
I want to explore this.
Smoldering for me.
Because apparently me and you have been like in therapy type terms all day today.
That's right.
Let's explore this. What about the Minnesota Timberwolves have made you, have drawn your ire?
They annoy me.
Let's dig deeper.
I feel like Anthony Edwards is being held back.
By?
An ill-constructed roster.
Okay.
With Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns is supposed to be that dude. Not.
Very much not.
Rudy Gobert. I lose all respect for you when you punch a man dead in his chest for no reason. It appeared.
Not when he cried for missing an All-Star game?
That too.
Okay.
And someone created COVID. Well, started COVID.
He didn't create COVID. This is the thing.
I meant started.
What's funny is like we're still not certain that he was actually what caused the outbreak in the locker room. He was just the first one that tested positive, right? Like that's one of those things.
He'll forever be the face of that.
But this is the thing. We wouldn't come at him if it was just you were the first one that well, we probably would have because at that point we was being wild judgmental about that stuff. But like it wouldn't be exactly the same. What made it so bad was that he was out here playing.
Correct.
Right? Like, and I understand this was fairly early on. Not everybody, I don't think any of us really knew how dangerous this was. But when the league was like, yo, we doing these protocols, he was out here like, look at how stupid this is. And then everybody gets COVID. Like, then it's a problem.
Yeah,
you
just
play
reckless,
too much.
Yeah, reckless nature of it all, yeah. And it is official. It's a final in Denver. The Denver Nuggets in a gentleman's sweep take out the Minnesota Timberwolves 4 games to 112-109. Nikola Jokic triple-double sends the number 1 seed Denver Nuggets to the second round. They will meet the winner of the Clippers-Suns series in the second round in the the Western Conference semifinals. As we continue inside the gray area.
Oh, that's right.
The headline goes like this, gentlemen. A new study linking French fries to depression gets torched by the internet. Have you heard about this?
I think I saw something in passing, but I didn't get into the nitty-gritty of it.
Well, a new study was published this week linking the consumption of French fries and other fried foods to depression.
And other fried food. Okay, so French fries ain't standing up on their own. French fries are also being paired with other stuff.
Well, it's the highlight.
Okay.
The study sought.
They might be slandering my boy French fries here, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow. The study sought to learn more about the quote correlation between fried food consumption and the risk of anxiety and depression. And upon being published, the study got dunked on by pretty much everybody.
Is it peer reviewed?
The environmental sciences study was published in the journal PNAS.
Yep, heard of that one. One of my favorite journals.
What they found was, quote, frequent fried food consumption, especially fried potato consumption.
Okay, all right. So maybe they are.
They're singling out fries.
Yeah.
Is strongly associated with 12% and 7% higher risk of anxiety and depression.
12%, I'll take that gamble. That's cool. Also, mind your business.
Wow.
Like, who asked you? Right?
The 682 at the exact same time.
Yeah, mind business. That's right.
One of the first major media outlets to pick this study up, of course, was CNN in an article written by Taylor Nicole. As you might have guessed by now, that article did not go over well on the internet. The way that CNN tweeted this out, they've been, in the headlines quite a bit, Don Lemon, over the last couple of days.
I shouldn't laugh. People are legitimately losing their job in all sorts of industries right now. Very sad.
The tweet read, French fries. They're greasy, starchy, and a comfort food for many. New research suggests that French fries may be linked to depression.
I also need to know about the methodology because I don't think this is the methodology from the 903, but I do think this is a fair critique, right? The idea that the interviewer walks up and goes, "Are you depressed? Do you also eat French fries?" Who doesn't, right? Like, I need to know what the methodology, how did we come to 7 to 12% more likely to be depressed? I need more information here. Does that also include ketchup? How about salted versus unsalted? Are these shoestring versus crinkle cut? Need more data. Need more.
Thanks, David. Thank you.
Are tater tots included?
You're asking all the pertinent questions.
Thank you.
Would you like to know more about this?
Please.
The study evaluated 140,728 people over, 11.3 years.
Oh, wow. That's fairly substantive.
After excluding participants diagnosed with depression within the first 2 years, a total of 8,294 cases of anxiety and 12,735 cases of depression were found in those that consumed fried food. While specifically, fried potatoes were found to have a 2% increase in risk of depression over fried white meat. The study has also found that the participants consuming more than one serving of fried food regularly were more likely to be younger men.
Huh, okay. So what they're saying is don't eat French fries, eat chicken wings? Am I getting this right?
Your chances of depression go
down by 2%? There you go.
By eating chicken wings, apparently.
Now, the cost difference between French fries and chicken wings is crazy, though. That 2% might be... Never mind, I shouldn't say that. That's reckless. Very reckless.
Thank you for catching yourself.
Yeah.
Quote, the human component of this study may indicate just what it purports. That higher intake of fried food increases the risk of anxiety and depression, said Dr. David Katz, a lifestyle medicine specialist who was not involved in the study, said via email to CNN. However, quote, the casual pathway could just as readily go the other way. People with anxiety and depression turn to, quote, comfort food.
That's right.
With increasing frequency for some semblance of relief.
Yeah. If you want this to happen, make healthcare more accessible. How about that? All right.
Wow.
Sometimes some of us got to cope,
Wow.
Some of us don't got everything available to us.
Which I do think is the more natural thought and pathway is that depression.
Booking some of these appointments ain't as easy as hitting up McDonald's right quick, okay? How about that?
I think, eating for pleasure, eating for comfort, and, the ways that can affect you, mentally. Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the best way of handling things, but sometimes, compared to the alternatives that you may have in the moment, seems like a passable one.
Our Petty for the 903. What about potato wedges?
That's, you know what? We gotta ask the questions. We gotta be thorough here.
From the 682, when I get Taco Bell nacho fries, I'm the happiest I've been all day. First of all, with all due respect.
Yeah, I need you to value yourself.
Yeah, I need you to value your life, your wallet, and your self-esteem more. Because I'm sure you could go home and find that nacho fries sprinkle dust or whatever the hell they put on them fries, and you could probably make those yourself and be
well, how about just don't do the sprinkle dust?
Well, I'm just saying, don't give Taco Bell that money. You can do that yourself and probably have a better product of your own.
Oh, okay.
At your own house, actually.
Someone said you can also do some push-ups instead of down and some fries. That's cute.
Touche. From the 682. So you're saying all those people, all those happy people at the State Fair of Texas are faking the happiness? That's a question, I guess.
Also, how did they neutralize, or sorry, like, how did they isolate the variable, considering that we live in a world full of sadness and gloominess? Like, hey, look around at generally everything. It's the French fries that did it to you.
Now, hold on, 3, 2, 1. Relax. This person just opened up about their small happiness, and KG and Reggie trying to take that away. I'm not trying to take anything away from that person.
Oh, the Taco Bell fries? Yeah, I'll take that away. No shame.
I'm just trying to
Does it matter?
That's right. I'm just trying to help that person realize that they can do better all by themselves.
All right.
Not do bad by themselves, but they can do better.
All right, Tyler Perry.
You see what it is? There you go.
Thank you for being here.
That's it. You paying attention. From the 817, I will be happy come Thursday eating fried mac and cheese at Pluckers in Allen. That's elite texting.
At the Allen location? Yeah, let's do it.
That's elite texting. That's right, 903. Shots fired at Taco Bell. You're damn right. You're damn right. From the 817, I'll take the McDonald's fries and the anxiety that comes with them. They're too good to pass up. Clearly, a bunch of people, according to this study, do the same thing.
We've been doing a lot of jokey jokes, anxiety, issues of mental health. All these things are very serious. If possible and available to you, please, seek the professional help that's necessary, because, it's hard out here. For real.
It is.
And every once in a while, like, studies are great, but, if you have French fries in moderation, I think that's a reasonable and responsible way of doing this. Does that sound logical, reasoned enough?
I would agree with that.
Mind your damn business, people making damn polls and studies.
From the 682, catch me outside if you're going to talk bad about Taco Bell, especially them nacho fries. Here's what you don't need to be caping for, 682. It's some nacho fries from a fake,
They don't love you.
Tex-Mex restaurant.
They don't love you like that.
They don't.
You're doing a lot for them. And
you don't have to cape for them in that way. You don't.
So what should people do?
Not eat Taco Bell.
Yeah, like not eat beanbag insides. That's what. All right, we need to go. We need to go.
Please mark that. Thank you. That's your trip inside the gray area here on the Get Right with Reggie KG here on 105.3 The Fan. Mercifully for Reggie, we will go over the headlines of today's sports next to 105.3 The Fan.
The more you listen, the harder we grind.
Keeps growing. So go with the growth at My Computer Career. The right training, the right timing, the right career. Invest in you at mycomputercareer.edu. Start now.
This is the exclusive home of Dallas Cowboys football. KRLD FM and HD1, Dallas, Fort Worth. Let's go, Cowboys.
Always live on the free Odyssey app.
From our fan studio secured by DFWsecurity.com, it's time for the Get Right on 105.3 The Fan.
Final hour to Get Right. We're Reggie KG on 105.3 The Fan. Kevin Gray, Reginald Atatula, Ruben Portillo holding it down for you here on your Turn It On, Leave It On station. Home of the Cowboys, the Texas Rangers, 105.3 The Fan. Really appreciate you joining us on Odyssey and the Odyssey app. The truckwreck.com text line 877-881-1053, 877-881-1053. Going to get you caught up on the latest headlines on this Tuesday night, a busy night in the world of sports, including your Stars and Rangers both in action and NBA playoff action continuing, as well as a team has been eliminated in tonight's playoff action. At Kevin Gray Sports, at Reg Atatula on Twitter if you want to give us a follow there. Coming up here in 20 minutes. Little sandwich time with our man Ruben Portillo on this Tuesday. So you make sure you want to tune in for that for the question of the night and apparently a combo platter of sorts.
Yeah, a little bit of combo platter.
Looking forward to that. By the way, programming note, tomorrow we are on at our regularly scheduled time from 7 to 11 p.m. the night before the NFL draft. And that's right. And who was that?
Oh, Bobby.
What?
One more time for me, please.
Hooray!
Yeah, I need to hear that more often.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great.
It's freshly new.
Was that today or something?
It was about a week ago, last Saturday.
Oh, okay.
When they did the Love of the Star podcast live.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a terrific show, by the way. That was really good. Shout out to Brian Broaddus real quick. Hopped on this morning with Sean and RJ. For an hour, talking all things NFL draft, answering your questions as we head into the NFL's annual selection meeting. And tomorrow at 8 o'clock, programming note for the Get Right, Vach Lombardi of The Volume going to be joining us via the Diamond Factory Hotline. Looking forward to his terrific perspective on this year's NFL draft, what the Cowboys will do at number 26 in his humble opinion. Vach Lombardi of The Volume going to be joining us tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on 105.3 The Fan, getting you ready for the NFL draft. Let's go over some headlines here on this Tuesday night. We start with the Stars.
You love to see it.
The Stars got a 4-0 win. Ruben, Tyler Seguin was able to open up the scoring for the Stars tonight. And his goal was the difference as the Stars started a goal party, and it started with Tyler Seguin.
For the Minnesota Wild, what an opportunity. Puck comes in front, they score! Just 8 seconds into the major power play. Tyler Seguin with his 4th power play goal in this series.
Tyler Seguin got it started, as Kenny Albert mentioned, of course, the NHL on TBS. What was a 5-minute major on a controversial penalty for the Wild. Nonetheless, the Stars capitalize. They go on to score 3 more goals, including Jason Robertson getting a goal himself, Mason Marchment, and the final goal of the night.
Who did score the final goal of the night? Why am I forgetting this?
It was 4-0 Stars, though.
Oh, Ty Dellandrea.
That's right. Ty Dellandrea got the final goal for the Stars. 78.6% of the time, the winner of Game 5 goes on to win the best-of-7 series. Stars looking to close it out on the road on Thursday night in Minnesota for game number 6. Jake Ottinger was fantastic for the Stars. 27 opportunities, 27 saves, second career postseason shutout. Stars 4, Minnesota Wild 0. Game number 6 will be on Thursday night in Minnesota, I think.
Wait, what?
Because again, the scheduling thing on ESPN's like schedule thing.
Oh, it's just going crazy.
It's just going crazy.
That's fair. I feel like the Stars are in a great place. Worst case scenario, they defend home ice.
Friday. It's Friday. Friday in Minnesota.
Okay, cool. So at least come out to Pluckers, enjoy the first round of the NFL draft, and then we can get back to that hockey on Friday.
On Friday. That's right. I'm sure the NFL is like, hey, y'all quit scheduling stuff on Thursday. That's our night.
I don't even think it's like that. I think the NFL was like, we on third. Like, you make it seem like they're like, hey guys, can we have this spot? When in all reality, the NFL's like, hey, we gonna sit up right here, and everybody's like, yeah, we gonna need to move away from there because they just gonna take up all the oxygen. Like, is that why the NBA playoffs have 4 games going tomorrow? Are they just like, yo, can we stay away from Thursday? Is that possible?
Let's check the NBA schedule as we'll give you a couple of scores, but that would make sense based on the schedule. Let's see, Thursday night.
They got a couple games on Thursday.
There's a couple of games.
Well, actually,
no.
One of them might not get played because it looks like Phoenix is about to take the Los Angeles Clippers, the Kawhi-less and Paul George-less Los Angeles Clippers, out to pasture right now.
Now, the other one is scheduled to be played on Thursday night. The only problem is, so Atlanta, more on them in a second, they are supposed to play on Thursday night
at their home arena. State Farm Arena.
Against Boston. That's because Trae Young and his heroics got them to game 6.
And here's Young. Backtracks, 5 to shoot. Young lets it go. And hits! Woo! Ice cold. 117, but there's still 1.8 remaining.
Gus Johnson on the call for the NBA on TNT. Trae Young's 38 points. And that game winner sends the Boston and Atlanta series to a 6th game. Again, scheduled for Thursday night. The only problem
Thursday
is
TBD.
Well,
they didn't give us times.
I would presume the game would have been at night.
Thursday, weekday, school night, whatever. Like, yeah, you anticipate that you do it at nighttime.
The only problem is State Farm Arena apparently double booked because Janet Jackson is supposed to have a concert on Thursday night at 7:45 p.m.
Let me tell you what's going to happen
at State Farm Arena.
That Janet Jackson concert is happening in Atlanta. Please believe. Please believe.
That is hilarious.
That concert will go on.
I'm trying to think what time you could even. There wouldn't be enough time at all between a game that started maybe at like 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the evening to try and convert an arena into
then you'd
a
have
staged
to
area.
You have to get people out. You have to clean it.
There's no way.
We might get some 1 p.m. basketball. Let's go. You at work getting ready for the draft?
Hey, Hawks and Celtics on.
Celtics on.
A little lunchtime basketball for you. Jeez. But shout out to Trae Young.
Just move the game to Friday.
I know.
Oh, well, can't do it on Friday. There's a lot of games. There's a lot of games on Friday.
You can't do it Friday. Yeah, as you mentioned, there's 4 games there. Well, actually, let's back that up.
Okay, all right.
Because
there's games that could happen on Friday.
3 of those are if necessary games.
Yeah, because we got Lakers, Memphis tomorrow. That could be the end of it.
Done.
All right. We got Golden State, Sacramento. No, that one's fine. We got Miami, Milwaukee. That could be the end of it tomorrow.
Done.
You think that's done as well?
No, I'm picking Milwaukee to win.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying that those series are in fact.
I was saying it could be done, but I'm picking Milwaukee.
And then we also have New York Knicks versus Cleveland Cavaliers on Wednesday, and that one could be the end of it.
I think Cleveland. I'm picking Cleveland to win Game 5 as well.
So you're not saying we're cleaning the slate out for Friday. We still gonna have a whole bunch of games.
I think we're gonna have a whole bunch of games on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right, 903. Yeah, they couldn't do an adequate sound check in that amount of time. Yeah, that's a hell of a conundrum for State Farm Arena.
Tejano Boy on YouTube says they're gonna play at college, like a college arena in the area. Where did the College Park?
You think
College
Janet
Park
Jackson
Hawks?
gonna go to perform at Georgia Tech?
No. Janet Jackson stays at State Farm.
You think the Hawks are gonna go
That's
play
right.
at Georgia Tech?
Mm-hmm. Or where does their G League affiliate? What is it? The College Park Hawks?
I don't know.
Is that what they call it?
I have no idea.
College Park Skyhawks. They play at Gateway Center Arena. See if they open. See if that's open.
Okay, thank you, 214. Days are always held for concerts to move in NBA arenas. I work at the AAC and it happens all the time. Apparently, Janet gots to go.
I understand your expertise here, and that is very.
Oh, you gonna argue?
That's very
with the
logical
arena
and sound.
worker? You
Don't
gonna
get me
argue
wrong.
with the arena worker?
Very logical and sound, and I'm sure that is in place. However, we talk about Janet Jackson in Atlanta.
See, I'm not gonna argue with you. You're the expert, clearly, in this area of this.
No, you're right.
You're saying they're not because you're saying.
I mean, they are. However.
You see how he's arguing with the actual expert in this particular area? Stubborn over here. Listen to the people. Listen to the person.
It's Janet Jackson.
They're trying to put you on game.
All right, fine.
They're trying to tell you how this works.
I guess we can move Janet Jackson. Gosh.
From the 903. Well, that takes out all the fun out of that one. Well, hey. Hold on. Hey. Cut the music for a second. Cut the music for a second.
Wait a minute.
Hey, 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna need you to relax on this Tuesday night. We still think Janet Jackson filling arenas in 2023?
We know it.
Do you know who you talking about here?
ISO!
Like, in all seriousness, you know who you talking about here?
Let them know who you talking about, KG.
We're talking about Janet Jackson. One of the most legendary performers in the history of music. Janet's still filling up arenas. People still wanting to perform on Janet Jackson tours. Like, come on now.
Up on stage with Janet.
Relax.
Who, me or the text?
Let the church say amen.
Amen, Pastor.
Yeah, because
Amen, Pastor.
Yeah, I don't know what you was doing. 3, 2, 1. Yes. Janet Jackson still filling up arenas.
Yes, I understand that the Hawks run the building. Yes, I understand that the Hawks take precedence. I understand all that. But we're talking about Janet Jackson.
From the 469, block that 321 text right there. I just can't believe the slander that y'all. Oh my gosh.
He said, cut the music, Ruben. This is serious.
Because here's what you're not going to do on this program. You're not going to disrespect Janet Jackson on this here program. Okay? That's what you're not going to do.
Oh, wow. Somebody said Janet Jackson will put on a better show than the Hawks. Well.
I'm trying to figure out what the lie was told. No? Okay.
We have more headlines?
Well, I'm sure it would be better than the show that was put on with the Great American Ballpark by the Texas Rangers bullpen. No? Because the Rangers offense and Martin Perez did everything they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
Except Cole Reagans was actually, nah. I'm going to give that thing away. Rangers fall to the Cincinnati Reds for the second night in a row because the bullpen. All right, Sean. All right. The bullpen couldn't hold it together. Would you like to expound on how the Rangers blew another game?
I wouldn't like to at all, but I guess I can, seeing as we're on air right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was frustrating because it wasn't the same way that the bullpen blew game yesterday. Yesterday it was walks, putting guys on bases. Tonight it was just they got singled to death, right? It was just like I think you said it earlier, death from 1,000 paper cuts is how you structured it. Like it just we saw it happening. And the worst part about it is like we had already seen it the night before. So we were sitting in the other room like, they're not going to do this again, are they? And then it was like 6-3 and it was like, oh, they really trying to do this? And it was like 6-5. It was like, nah, they really can't do this. And then it was 7-6. And it's like, oh, wow, they did. They really did. Some of this is like you've used your bullpen in the last couple of days, so guys were not available. You had Jonathan Hernandez. They ended up putting Cole Reagans late in the 8th inning, partially because Dane Dunning had thrown like 50-something pitches the night before. But I had no anticipation that Cole Reagans would be an 8th inning type guy at any given time. So like I think it was indicative of how like the bullpen was, but still, you're giving 6 runs, man. Like it's tough.
Martin Perez was lights out.
No matter who you have on the mound, the idea that they're just piecing you up for 6 runs is gonna hurt. And I understand, like, all of that is true, but also I think Jared Sandler, when on the postgame show, is right. We can't go too far with this. We can't ride the roller coaster, especially on a 162 game season, because your emotions will be taxed, right? It really does stink, particularly to have these back-to-back. These types of things happen, and I think we had an understanding that the bullpen was not the strongest part of this team. Now, if this becomes a common thing, a thing that happens frequently, that's going to be very annoying. But I think that, and of course, it being against a not very good Reds team also hurts. But I think this will be a little bit more of an anomaly. I still have my questions about the bullpen, but it's encouraging to see the lineup be able to hit well. It's encouraging to see your starters play well, and hopefully, when they are able to give you 5 and 6 run leads, this is the meltdown is not what you anticipate every time.
Thank you, 678 there on the DetroitRed.com text line, who pointed me to a tweet by Dan Wolkin.
Good writer.
Who posted on his Twitter account an article written by Sydney Henderson of USA Today, where there was a email sent by Live Nation that said, quote, due to the Atlanta Hawks playoff game, the Janet Jackson show, originally scheduled for Thursday, April 27th at State Farm Arena, has been moved to Friday, April 28th. All tickets for Thursday night's show will be honored for Friday night. Refunds will be available at point of purchase for those who are unable to attend.
Look, I didn't doubt any of this, but let's be honest.
You did.
The actual logistical reality of this is not as fun as the idea that Janet Jackson will kick the Hawks out of their own building. Can we be honest about that?
Of course.
So I just wanted to live in that reality for a little bit. Why y'all trying to take away my fun? First it was saying that the fries are causing depression and anxiety. Now I can't just live in a world where Janet Jackson kicks basketball teams out of their own arena. Why do y'all hate fun?
From the 682, my emotions are already attacked. Apparently, since I like to get Taco Bell nacho fries. Again, we just want you to do better because we believe in you.
True.
I believe in you.
Correct.
Reg believes in you. Ruben believes in you.
I don't know about that one. He did give us a thumbs up.
I do believe in you.
We know that you can do better. We want you to do better. That's the motto of the Get Right.
Is it?
No.
I was like, when did that happen?
It sounded good.
It did. I shouldn't have I should have just let that cook.
Just let it ride.
Yeah.
Let it cook in grease.
Hotter than fish grease. Those are your headlines here on the.
I was like, I don't know how you're getting out of that one. Okay, fantastic.
Dismounted. Best way they could. Coming up next, it's a little sandwich time, a little combo platter because y'all are here disrespecting Captain Crunch. Next on the Get Right.
Always a welcome sign for this clubhouse. Featuring breaking sports news, inside info, opinion, with laughs along the way. Turn it on, leave it on. The Fan and the Odyssey app.
EliteSkinCenter.com. That's EliteSkinCenter.com.
Back here on the Get Right, we're Reggie KG on 105.3 The Fan. Really appreciate you joining us here on Odyssey and the Odyssey app. We're with you until midnight tonight. Kevin Gray, Reginald Atatula.
What's happening?
Ruben Portillo holding it down on this Tuesday as the Stars get their win in Game 5 to have an opportunity to close it out at Game 6 against the Minnesota Wild. Unfortunately, the good guys will look to salvage a game in their series against the Cincinnati Reds after losing the first 2 games of their 3-game series in Cincinnati. Coming up here in a matter of seconds, we will have a little sandwich time with our man Ruben Portillo. If you missed anything during our program tonight, hit the rewind button on the Odyssey app. Make sure you subscribe to 105 through the Fan on YouTube as well. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. Sean, RJ, and Bobby Belt will kick you off as they get you ready for the NFL Draft. Just one day away, starting tomorrow morning.
Yep.
And tomorrow's Wednesday.
Yeah, no, it took me a second. Okay. I just had to double check because like my natural inclination was to agree, but I was like, you know what? I've been wrong a few times today. So we're just gonna double check. It never hurts to double check. That's a lesson. PSA from the Get Right.
Right now, though, it's time for this.
Yo, Papi!
If you're not buying it, then
Man, let me get a chopped cheese, Papi.
Hey, yo, Papi!
877-881-1053. That is the truckwreck.com text line number. We got a full combo platter here for sandwich time. So the question of the night on April 25th, 2023 at 11:24 p.m. The other night, visited my parents and such, so it's always good to visit family on the weekends.
Parents good?
Yeah, oh yeah, they good.
Cool.
Good.
And so I wanted something sweet, and I wanted a drink, so I went to Sonic,
That's always a good play.
And so my question is that, what is the go-to Sonic drink?
Oh, yeah, that's easy.
Is it Route 44?
Yeah, that's the big size.
Yeah, ocean water.
Cherry lame.
Slushy or just drink?
Cherry lame drink. Now, I do like doing a slush, but then that I don't have like a go-to. I'll, mix it up depending on the time. I might do some of the candy additives. I might not. But the tried and true, give me that cherry lime.
Oh, I love me some cherry lime. I'm a big slushy guy, so I like me some cherry lime slushies. Yeah, I tried something new. I went outside of my comfort zone. I got a blackberry slushy. It was pretty good. I give it a 7 out of 10.
That's got to be artificial flavor, though, right? Like blackberry as a flavor is very weird to me, and I wonder if our listeners feel the same. Text in on the truckwreck.com text line 877-881-8.
Yep.
That was so bad.
Yep.
Let's run that back. Text in on the truckwreck.com text line 877-881-1053.
That's it.
Because like blackberry is not a flavor that I think of readily, especially one that is like made to be consumed, with candies or like something sweet. Like it just is kind of odd and out there. So for them to make a drink with that flavor is kind of odd.
And so since we got our drinks settled in on this combo platter, let's go into the appetizer of doing a little bit of a tier list of cereals since we were talking about it earlier.
All right, cereal tier list. Are we going with S tier here?
Yes, let's do S tier. Just for you, Reggie.
A tier.
Yes.
B tier. C tier. Is that fine?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, cool. So we doing cereals?
Yeah, we'll do cereals.
Okay, cool.
All right. So start off with Captain Crunch. So I said it was a B tier.
And you was tripping.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I think it's a B tier.
So both of y'all tripping.
It's delicious, but the fact that it tear your mouth up, like that is a feature, not a bug.
Sometimes you gotta suffer to get to the other side of what's good for you.
Are you serious right now?
I mean, I apply it to certain aspects of my life. Cereal being one of them.
What about Honey Nut Cheerios?
Hell no.
A tier.
Yeah, it's A tier to me.
It's got to be the Honey Nut though.
Yeah, no regular Cheerios.
Cheerios of any kind, no.
Honey Nut is the best.
Y'all got no Honey Nut?
What about Cookie Crisp?
Yeah, that's C tier or below.
What about Carry On?
I would say if you ask nicely 903, then we'll shout you out.
Wait, what happened?
You can try again though.
They was kind of asking.
Sounded very demanding. All right, I'll bite. Shout out to Jacob Poole from 903.
Why is he so aggressive right now? Is it the
It's
Crunch
late.
Berries? I was like, is it the Crunch Berries or the Crab and Crunch?
Peanut Butter Crunch is
pretty good.
Pretty good. It's not A tier though.
Yeah, that's right. 903. KG don't like a healthy heart. He probably. All right, so the tough thing about it is my favorite cereal.
You hear that back down? Like it's like, well,
No.
Hey, hold on.
Because the tough thing about it is my favorite cereal is one that I readily know that a lot of people don't rock with. However, it's a delicious cereal that I would not rate as an S tier, but it's an A tier in my book.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
No.
Oh.
People would rate that S tier. Raisin Bran Crunch.
Oh, you had me at Raisin Bran.
Oh, you in on this?
Hell yeah.
My guy.
Yeah.
My guy. Although I
never dove into the crunch, but Raisin Bran.
Oh, wow. That's you talking reckless. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying it's not good. I just never had it. I don't.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I stick with the Raisin Bran itself.
Raisin Bran is good, but Raisin Bran, we heavy on the brand there. Raisin Bran Crunch, now you add a little bit different texture.
I gotta have something else.
And you add a little bit added sweetness in addition to the nature's candy of raisins in there. One of the few places where raisins admittedly should be.
What about some Frosted Flakes?
Frosted Flakes are a classic. I'm putting that
Goated.
S tier. I don't care.
Goated.
I don't care what nobody says. Frosted Flakes is S tier.
And what about?
Wait, what? That's A number one.
Yeah. No, okay. I have a feeling that people gonna get out here and talk a little crazy about it. I was just trying to preempt.
Oh, okay.
Whatever might happen.
Oh, wow, okay.
Fruity Pebbles is S. Fruity Pebbles get soggy quick though.
Yeah.
Like I think it's A tier. I don't know if I think it just gets soggy too quick because that's one thing for me. I'm always thinking about consistency, and some of these things get real tough too quick.
All right, so what were you gonna say?
As we're going to the combo platter, you'll appreciate this text and my answer that I'm about to give to it. From the 817 side note, is Arsenal winning tomorrow in Manchester City? To which I answer, who gives a damn?
Well, it matters because that's the race for the top of the table. Arsenal has been choking it away in true Arsenal fashion.
Is United at the top?
No.
All right.
It'd be the coup de grace if Manchester City was to get out here and embarrass Arsenal fully after they then drop points to, what was it, Bournemouth?
No, was it
Southampton?
Sheffield United or something?
One of them teams that has no business doing that to Arsenal this year. But yeah, Arsenal embarrassing themselves. Shout out to Arsenal. Even though I have a lot of friends that are Arsenal fans, I used to love Arsenal when they had Thierry Henry and such. And that being the case, this is where they are. You know that.
Yeah, we do. And so let's go into the dessert of this combo platter. So we're gonna play a game right here.
All right.
And I call this. I wrote it down. Last one standing. All right.
Okay.
And so what we're gonna do, I have two wheels. We can go NBA or NFL. All right.
All right.
I'll let KG choose.
And so we're gonna let this wheel spin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's gonna choose a team, and we're gonna name current or former players that play with that team until
someone loses.
Yes.
Oh, I like this.
And then they get eliminated, and then 1-on-1 until the last one stands.
Okay, cool. All right.
Wow. All right.
So you want to do NFL or NBA? I got both.
NBA.
All right, fantastic.
All right.
I feel like KG gonna beat me on this.
Well, we gotta hear it. One moment.
Mm-hmm.
Stand by.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Orlando Magic.
All right, who starts? Wait, did you say? I thought you said NFL.
I said NBA.
Yeah, you said NBA.
Oh,
yeah.
my bad.
Yeah, we got Orlando Magic. All right.
So we got to name former players.
Former or current players.
All right.
What's the order? Who goes first, second, so that we can just keep going?
I'll go first. KG, you go second. Reg, you go last.
I want to readily acknowledge that I'm at the disadvantage playing last. Okay, fantastic.
So I'm going first?
No, he's going first.
I'm going first.
Okay.
All right, give me Paolo Banchero.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Penny Hardaway.
Jalen Suggs.
Scott Skiles.
Oh, that was the one I was going to, you jerk. Tracy McGrady.
Cole Anthony.
Nick Anderson.
He just keeps taking the one that was at the top of my mind right before I say it. Wow, this is shameful. What's my guy's name? Rashard Lewis.
Dwight Howard.
Who did you say? I mean, yeah, that's Ronnie Cycli.
Wow. DJ Augustine.
All right, I'll back out. Just y'all two.
Oh, no. KGU.
Y'all really left Tracy McGrady on the table?
I already said Tracy McGrady.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, you said it.
You did say that?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Rashard Lewis.
Did I not just say Rashard Lewis?
Did you say that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He just wasn't listening to me.
No, I was not, clearly. Hedo Turkoglu.
There you go. Dang, I just had one that. Where'd it go? I had one on.
See my strategy?
Stock.
See what I did there?
You see, yeah, he just messing up the game.
Uh-huh.
Mo Bamba.
Dennis Scott.
Bol Bol. Or sorry, yeah, Bol Bol.
Bol Bol played for the Magic?
Yes.
Wow.
He's currently in the roster right now.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's see how much Orlando Magic basketball I watch. Horace Grant.
Oh, you can have it.
Oh!
It's fine.
All right, 1 point for KG. Do we still want to stick with NBA or NFL?
NFL.
All right, let's go NFL.
This is going to be nasty. KG is going to run rampant.
Stand by.
Oh,
yeah,
Matt Barnes did play for the. Y'all keep sending in your Orlando Magic.
All right, let's do the New Orleans Saints.
Same order? Same order?
Now, since you won, you go first.
Yes.
And then me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. We'll go with the same. Got you.
Drew Brees.
Joe Horn.
Alvin Kamara.
Arch Manning.
Deuce McAllister.
Michael Thomas.
Marshawn Lattimore.
Jimmy Graham.
Dang, that was my next one. Mark Ingram.
Cam Jordan.
Kenny Vaccaro.
I'll back out.
Teron Armstead.
Derek Carr.
Wow.
That's such a funny thing to remember that he's going to play for the Saints. I did forget Franz Wagner. Both Wagners for the Orlando Magic. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Victor Oladipo? Yeah, I should have gotten that one. Ain't that a shame?
Steve Gleason.
That's such a good one. Fine. You can have it.
Wow! 2-0.
The real sports guy on this show, clearly.
That's right.
Good gracious.
That's right.
You couldn't get another Saint?
I could. But that's a good one to end on.
It's not about ending, it's about winning the game.
Damn, Steve Francis did play for Orlando. This is a shame.
All right, let's hop back to NBA real quick. Let's see if KG gets the sweep if we have time.
I mean, I'm clear the Cincinnati Reds out here, handling business, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah, the problem is if we really, really wanted to play this game, especially we didn't set any time limits, we would not have time for this.
Oh, for sure.
So
for sure.
We got Toronto Raptors.
Oh, this KG, would you like to start us off?
Sure. Vince Carter.
Pascal Siakam.
Fred VanVleet.
Tracy McGrady.
You knew I wanted to say Tracy McGrady.
Of course I did.
You're a jerk. Kyle Lowry.
Jeremy Lin.
Ah, I like that.
OG Anunoby.
Chris Bosh.
DeMar DeRozan.
Let's see here. I'll go with.
Oh, Jameer did play for the Magic too.
Y'all didn't say Scotty Barnes yet? Who said
No.
Scotty? Yeah, Scotty Barnes.
Jakob Poeltl. You can always go home.
Malachi Flynn.
We're just naming the current roster at this point.
Malachi Flynn. I'll go with. Y'all might have got me on this one.
Really? Wow.
Let me see here. Oliver Miller.
Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon.
Kawhi Leonard.
I was trying to save that one if I could.
Oh, damn. That was a layup, wasn't it?
Yeah.
DeMar DeRozan.
Already been said.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Y'all might have got me on that one. Yeah, about.
Chris Boucher.
Did Marc Gasol play for the Raptors?
He did.
Marc Gasol did play for the Raptors.
Sure did.
Yeah.
You know what, Ruben? You win.
Yeah!
What you concede for?
Go!
I'm a good teammate. I like seeing y'all be happy. I'm tired of thinking. Pick your choice, whichever one.
Y'all want to do one more?
Oh no, we gotta go to break.
Okay, let's go. That's how we do sandwich time.
That's good stuff, though.
Life cereal, Oreo O's.
By the way, A-tier cereal, Rice Chex.
Stop it. Stop it. You might as well have said Kicks. Get out of here.
It's Final Call next in the Get Right.
Coming up in the next G-Bag Nation. We'll get a later start. Rangers are going to play the getaway game in Cincinnati. First pitch 11:30. So we'll be on about 3 o'clock or so. Nation runs till 7 o'clock in the Fan.
If knew Heineken Silver was at the invasion of Troy. Oh my, the Greeks sent us a big wooden horse.
Oh no, it's full of armed and angry soldiers! And we only have these ice-cold...
in you as a person and helping you understand healthier eating habits. Visit Soda's website just like I did at sotaweightloss.com to read the over 7,000 client Google business reviews. Soda is the only weight loss company in America that has been the vetted and chosen weight loss program for a major sporting franchise organization and its fans. So get into summer, lose that weight, join me, Bobby Belt, as I'm now fitting into a smaller belt. Visit sotaweightloss.com. Soda Weight Loss is, say it with me now, state of the art.
Get the top stories, exclusive podcasts, video content, and much more 24/7 at 1053thefan.com.
Final time here on the Get Right. We're Reds and KG on 105.3 The Fan. Really appreciate all of you who joined us.
Grievous Vasquez played for the Raptors. Maryland legend. Grievous Vasquez. Just needed you to know that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Really appreciate all of you who joined us on our program tonight. Also on Twitch at twitch.tv/DallasFan. Came in on YouTube as well at 105.3 The Fan. If you missed anything during our program, make sure you hit the rewind button on the Odyssey app, or you can go to the Get Right podcast page on 1053thefan.com so you listen to any episode, anytime, on demand. We will be back.
Damn it. Luke Rittenauer did play for the Magic.
Oregon legend.
I just really wanted to throw out like obscure names, but I couldn't. Like my brain would not verify.
That's okay. Adam Morrison. Oh, now they're coming to me now. Adam Morrison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just gonna be sending texts to each other for the next week of dudes that we remember who played for the Orlando Magic, New Orleans Saints, or Toronto Raptors.
That's right. We'll be back tomorrow at our regularly scheduled time at 7 o'clock. After we follow the G-Bag Nation. Voch Lombardi of The Volume going to be joining us tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So mark your time there at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Voch Lombardi of The Volume going to be talking all things NFL draft for the Dallas Cowboys and beyond. If you have not had the opportunity to hear the stylings of Voch Lombardi, you are in for an absolute treat. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Again, Voch Lombardi, The Volume, NFL draft analyst and NFL films analyst joining us here on The Get Right. At Kevin Gray Sports, at Reg Atatula, if you want to give us a follow there on Twitter. Ruben, it is the final call here before we get out of here on this Tuesday night. Shout out to the Stars one more time as they get the 4-0 win. Jake Ottinger, 27 saves in his second career shutout. Stars have the Wild on the brink of elimination as they look to advance in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Meanwhile, the Texas Rangers.
Before you move forward, it is worth noting the fourth goal that we did, we kept forgetting who had scored it. Yes. Ty Dellandrea, we did come up with that.
That's right.
That was in fact his first career playoff goal. So shout out to that gentleman for breaking the seal on that, starting his account, as some might say.
Tyler Seguin been turning back the clock in these playoffs so far as well. He's been playing really well. From the 2-4, yes, we will also be at Pluckers on Thursday night, 190 East Stacy Road. And Allen, come hang out with us. We'll get there at around 6:15, 6:30. And we will be there with you throughout the entirety of the night until the first round is complete. Now, I'm going to dip out a little early.
Of course you are.
Because Chris Arnold and I will have your post-NFL draft show beginning at 11 p.m. here on 105 through the Fan. That'll run until 1 a.m. Friday morning. So you'll have your... What happened?
Sorry, finish your statement.
No, what happened?
On the YouTube page. Shout out to everybody watching on 105 through the Fan YouTube. One gentleman, Ryan, in there said, your dream pick at 26 on Thursday is. And our friend Eric in there said, Tank Dell at 26. And I just cannot imagine. Well, for one, I would be so happy personally.
You would
be.
Well,
I just like that cat. Like, that dude is really fun at playing football. That being said, do you know the amount of hand wringing and all sorts of other things that would happen if Tank Dell went 26?
Nasty work.
Ooh, boy. Y'all would light this place on fire.
I just can't wait to see the reaction when Michael Mayer gets drafted.
All right.
But yes,
I'm going to save all this audio. I'm going to play it for Michael Mayer eventually when he becomes a Cowboy. Like, he never believed in you.
And I hope he proves me wrong if he is eventually a Cowboy. For the 832, yes, sir. Welcome to Allen. Yeah, come hang out with us at Allen. We're looking forward to that on Thursday night. Again, we'll get there around 6:15, 6:30-ish, and we'll be with you throughout the course of the night.
Oh, wow. Now we're asking questions.
Yeah, we don't know the answer to that.
We'll be
specifically.
Well, honestly, to be fair,
just come out and come see us and come find out.
Well, one thing I should tell you, when we're out there, we're not just going to be sitting at a table.
Correct.
We will be around
among y'all.
Yeah, we'll be around the entirety of the location talking to folks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So definitely come hang out with us on Thursday night again.
There is not an age limit. Pluckers is a family restaurant.
Family establishment. Yeah. Make sure you come hang out.
Bring the kiddos if you. Well, I mean, it might be a long night. Sometimes the kiddos get tired.
Yeah, that's a school night. So, if you're trying to have your kids out there.
Especially if you're trying to see the Cowboys pick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You might want to, call that young babysitter and see what you can do there. Shout out to the Colorado Buffaloes.
Which ones? The ones that are going to be there or no?
Not the 46 that apparently have left the program.
Yeah, but we treat this like they decided they were going to go. Dion made it very clear there was going to be a churn.
That's right.
And this is what we are seeing, the churn. In fact, one of the gentlemen, do you have this information?
No, it was something else, but it made me think of that.
I'll need to find that one more time because I believe one of the gentlemen on this team tweeted out, or one of the dudes that had kind of ended up in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Tweeted and I believe deleted something that to the indication of they told me to. Hey, why are you leaving? Basically, you ain't playing here. Get out. And it seems very obvious that that's what Dion wanted to do at Colorado. All them cats that was there before, not playing for me. And so yeah, that's kind of the way that this seems to be going. So yeah, kind of crazy. I think they've turned over.
I thought the number was 46 that I've seen.
46, something like that. Which is insane because it's 83 scholarship.
Yeah, so many scholarship players. It's crazy. From the 214, apparently Dallas ISD is off on Friday.
Hey!
Shout out to y'all's kids. My kid definitely going to school. She's been out of school enough this year. Don't worry, you'll get there as a parent. Speaking of Colorado, their spring game drew 551,000 viewers, which is up a whopping 92% from 2022. In fact, Colorado's spring game, which, really wasn't springing at all, seeing there's a bunch of snow that day, it was ESPN's second most watched spring game since 2016.
I don't even know what yes, it is good. I don't know what you were planning on seeing. You know what I mean? What did you think you was going to see in that spring game? But more power to you.
I mean, look, they sold tickets for it, made a bunch of money off of it, and apparently they were watching. By the way, if you pick correct, could be free wings, so we need some insight.
What they're referring to is how the draft nights work is that, you get there early, you can register to be one of the a GM for one of the teams. And so as the picks are coming down in the draft, you can predict who you believe that team is selecting there. And if you are correct, that unlocks discounts and deals for everyone at the Pluckers. And so if people make correct selections, everybody eats good.
In soccer news, real quick.
Okay, I'm interested.
Shout out to Tottenham.
Wait a minute, we talking about this tomorrow?
Oh, my bad.
Look at you messing up.
Tune in tomorrow. That was a tease. Thanks, Rez.
Unbelievable.
Other soccer news. Shout out to FC Barcelona.
Never.
As they have secured nearly $1.66 billion.
They're terrorists.
From 20 investors to renovate its stadium, Spotify Camp Nou.
They're terrorists. In soccer, I mean, there's clearly not a salary cap, but there's something called financial fair play to kind of try and keep these organizations on the up and up. Barcelona just be spending all type of crazy, even if they don't have it, and then just people come through and give them money, or they basically just do the funny financials, right? They do the funny books.
We know y'all got it.
And they just keep coming around and don't nobody say nothing to them. Hate them for it. Nasty business.
Speaking of more international sports, in its most recent lottery, the 2024 Paris Olympic Committee received 4 million applications for tickets. The 2024 Paris Summer Olympics are more than a year away, but that hasn't stopped fans from flocking to apply for tickets.
Oh, the tickets are via a lottery. Okay, interesting.
Officials hope to sell 1.3 million tickets for the 2024 games. As a result, the latest draw saw 4 million applications.
Okay.
I didn't realize it was that much of a arduous process.
The Summer Olympics?
To get tickets.
Yeah, I don't think I did either.
I didn't realize that.
But hey man, it sounds fun. Like, especially it's a place that's pretty well renowned. There's history. It could be fun to be there. I see what you're doing, 676. Not today. So yeah, I get why folks are like, yo, I want to go to the Olympics of Paris. That sounds fun. Sounds like a good time.
That's right, 832. Shout out to Wrexham.
Yes, moving up to League 2 in the English soccer pyramid. All it takes is a couple of celebrity investors and a good amount of money.
Just has to have somebody believe in you. That's all that matters.
And don't forget the money. He was like, you just got to believe. No.
You just got to believe.
With the check.
With the money. Appreciate all the hard work of my man, Ruben Portillo, not just on this show, but throughout the course of his long evening. Shout out to you. For my partner, Reginald Atatula, my name is Kevin Gray. This has been the Get Right with Reggie KG on 105 through the Fan. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Y'all be good.
Leave our fresh fries alone. Be easy.
Hey, thanks to Rockwell Ford, it's 35 minutes of commercial-free Fan and the Expressway. Sean and RJ mornings at 7:20, KNC middays at 12:20, and afternoons with G-Bag at 5:20. Right here on 105.3 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
Need to sell your home on your schedule? Lock in a guaranteed cash offer from Orchard and start the spring with a celebration. Here's how. Before Orchard, selling your home was a long, stressful process. But with Orchard's cash offer, no more waiting weeks, even months for your home to sell. Orchard's cash offer guarantees the sale of your home so you can sell when you're ready. Have the certainty that your house will sell without all the hassles of selling it. Go to Orchard.com for a free, no-obligation, guaranteed cash offer. That's Orchard.com.
After a long, hard work day, treat yourself. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? Baby Doll Saloon Dallas is the ultimate after-work happy hour spot. A true home away from home. Daily buffet Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Plus our stadium buffet Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. Saturday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And Sunday from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. Baby Dolls is your sports